while I send out notifications to get things set up. So hopefully by the time the 3-minute intro video is over. Unmuting self, unmuting Discord. There. There we go. There's a chance we'll have a fourth person join the chat later, or the VC later, but I don't think we're gonna have anybody else playing the board games. In the end, doing it on a Friday wasn't good. Yeah, but I knew that. DLC. No, wait, no, workshop, not DLC. Duh.
Are you sure that monkeys can't drive trains? Has this been tested?
Yes, I believe. I forgot to change the stream question because that's from Eastward yesterday. where
Okay.
where monkeys are driving the
Train
train.
game.
Yeah,
That
this
makes sense.
is a game. I'm liking
The
the game mostly. I just hate mostly I hate the what's it called? Where the mood changes super quickly from
mm,
super weird monkeys driving train to they just genocided an entire village. The mood whiplash,
that's
that's what it is.
yeah, that's interesting. That does seem a little
Mm-hmm.
like disorientating or like
Yeah.
kind of takes you out of the experience if it's going back and forth.
It's only done it a couple of times, but it feels like the pattern of every single new town we come to is quirky and funny and full of really funny characters, and oop, they're all dead now.
It's
It's
like a
happened.
cool setup.
Oh, it is.
Put a lot of
Okay.
work into this.
Turn off the kitty cam and temporarily turn off the face cam so I can eat my pizza.
Can't have anybody seeing you eat pizza.
It'd be rude.
Yeah.
There, new question. Or sorry, the questions are the same because no one even answered yesterday.
Sure.
All right,
Well,
so
I would be interested to know more about if there was like actually somebody that did a study on whether or not monkeys can drive trains.
that's fair. That's
It would
fair.
be interesting to see their how they evaluated that,
My
their methodology.
my logic there is the same logic I use for all these sort of silly facts of they've done tests on what monkeys can and cannot do, and monkeys lack the recognition to understand how buttons work in general. So theoretically, if a monkey pulled off driving a train, it'd be the same as when they successfully pull off a typewriter, purely by accident.
That's fair. Yeah,
Such as,
intelligence is like a whole separate
mm-hmm.
part of that equation, huh? Yeah.
Yep. It's like, have you heard the story of the monkey took a photograph of itself?
Yes.
And it went to
Yes,
the
that
Supreme
was in
Court about who
court.
owned it?
Yeah, that was fairly recently. That's very
Mm-hmm.
important for like I think that that's like foundational, like unironically, like really foundational law for AI
Mm-hmm.
because my opinion, having taken one law course, and so I'm definitely qualified to speak on law.
Oh, yeah, same, same,
Um,
same.
the is that
Ooh, they have maps. I love
they
it.
don't that copyrights can something can only be copyrighted if a human makes it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's gone to court with the monkey thing.
Yes.
And if an AI is making something, you'd have to like prove that the AI is
Mm-hmm.
like different, like is its own thing enough from a human,
Mm-hmm.
from the human creator that made the AI. But if you know if you assume that the AI is like doesn't actually take any input from the human at a certain point,
Mm-hmm.
it's not copyrightable. It's interesting that they put us all on one side, but then the board is oriented the other way. But that's fine.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the maps and it's like, holy crap! I can see why they say play this. Damn.
Yeah, I
Ultimate
saw there's like
indeed.
other maps and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, there's the 4 default that I think are official content, and then there are 12 fan-made maps.
Oh,
I
nice.
love this. I love this so much. This is what I love about Tabletop Simulator.
Will it mess anything up to like show some
I
of the
don't
alternate
think
maps?
so. So, like, this is the default map. So, let's show, for instance, the lake, which I know is a very different map because it completely changes how you attack people.
I think the lake might be a official map
It is,
because
yes,
I
it
saw
is.
it in the other mod that I was kind of playing around with.
Yeah, Autumn,
Um,
Winter, Lake, and Mountain are the 4 official ones.
mhm.
Whereas this one is a fan made by Endgamer1331 on Discord. This is called Lost Woodland, and it is not loading on my end. Oh,
Damn.
there we go. Okay, so it looks like it's mostly similar to the base game, but it's a recolored one. And this is Deep Woods. This looks interesting. For the record, for the base game, stuff like rivers don't usually matter. It's the pathways and bridges. But for instance, certain extra factions they matter. So for the otters, for instance, where the river located, it matters because otters travel along rivers and get bonuses on water.
Can you fight on rivers? Because I know that the
You fight in
There's
the
another
circles.
faction that can go in rivers. There's the in the default game, the like skunk faction, the one guy by himself
Oh, the,
one,
the vagabond. Oh yeah,
the vagabond,
the.
yeah, can go on like forests and rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Can you fight on those, or like you are you just
I'm.
hanging out there? If
I
you're...
think he just hangs out. I know, for instance, the otters can travel between rivers, but they must end in a clearing still. I.
Okay.
It's possible the vagabond can stay in the river, but no one could engage him in that case.
Yeah.
So would it matter?
The vagabond's also kind of weird, where he doesn't engage sometimes. Anyway,
Yes,
so
intentionally, yeah. Since he doesn't get a lot of points for engagements. And then there's the rats, where they're a unique faction that they're like some factions get points for engaging in fights or winning fights. The rats get folks based on how many people they kill. So they are the most violence inclined faction because they want a high body count.
wait, so what's the default way to get points?
It depends on every single faction is different. That's part of why this game is complicated.
Okay.
So for
Okay,
instance,
so that depends on your faction.
yeah, for instance, for the cats, they can get points by building structures, by destroying things that belong to other people, and for crafting. Everyone, that's the one thing everyone can do. Everyone can get points for crafting.
Okay.
Although the birds, for instance, only get 1 point no matter what they craft, whereas some factions can get more points for crafting, by which I mean everybody but the birds. Basically, that's the catch. Is, yeah, as you say, every single faction plays differently. Cats are usually the recommended beginner faction, as they're the most basic of them all. The catch is that they have a low skill ceiling, and because the action economy, they suffer against professional games.
That makes sense. That's kind of cool. I mean, that's like good to have like a non-tournament viable character that's like good if no like good if nobody really knows the rules, but bad if you're like actually trying to play the game correctly, or like are you good at the game?
Every game
It's
I've
kind of
played,
like
the birds have won. All two of them.
okay.
My first game, I
Although
was the cats and my brother was the
low
birds.
sample size.
Yeah,
Did
the
you
first
beat your brother as the birds?
no, I was the cats and he was the birds first game because he thought I should have the simpler one, and he never collapsed, and so he did really well. The next time his roommate joined as the birds, I played the otters, and my brother played the cats, and the bird player still won, even though he collapsed once, because he collapsed at a really good time. The strategy with the birds is kind of like Europa. Declare bankruptcy early on enough and at the right time so they don't get the advantage of it. And because of how we were playing, as the otters, I'm not really a combatant. I'm mercenaries who hire myself out to other players and try to get them to buy my shit. But because no one was buying my stuff, I had a hard time getting momentum going. Especially because I didn't know how to handle otters. I was thinking have multiple bases. No, the strategy is otters. Bundle all your otters into one location and just move around a gigantic doom stack. Fan dubbed the Otter Ball.
Is there a limit to how many people you can have in one?
Depends on the faction.
Clearing.
Oh, and a point clearing? No.
Because I was kind of thinking that like a doom stack is probably like pretty good.
Depends on the faction. Doomstack is great for the otters because they're based on making purchases and sales, and they can recreate their base anywhere. They don't have a fixed base. Cats and birds need territory. In particular, birds gain points by taking territory. Cats gain points by defending territory. So if a cat does a doomstack, for example, they're going to have a lot of really exposed flanks and lose a lot of territory to whoever their opponent militaristic faction is. And likewise, if the birds doomstack, they can take one territory at a time, but they'll be gaining very few points per turn as their other territories retaken later. Are there instructions someplace? Here we are, master instructions.
There are, yeah, on the side.
Yep. As you can see, the table of contents is 22 pages, 6 of which are all appendices. Have you tried reading them or no?
I read like the beginning part, and
Mm-hmm.
I saw a video of like what the game is and what the four basic factions are, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely gonna forget like half of it.
Yeah.
This is kind of a complicated game, which is cool because complicated games are great,
Mm-hmm.
but it will take a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
How do you? Oh, pop out. That's what I want. Yes.
Oh, I see part of why. This includes all of the extra factions.
Hmm.
I'm gonna copy this so we all have our own copy.
Yes. You can also, if you like right click and do pop out, you could get it like where you can actually read it on your screen by yourself.
Crap, I've forgotten how to rotate camera up and down. Was that, oh, here we go. Up, down, left, right. Okay, there. There, now we each have our own copy of the instructions. Although I forget if it's copy or clone that I would have wanted here, because in theory, does clone mean that they sync pages, or no?
I don't think so.
No, okay, good, good, good. Yeah, I'm not gonna go, like, read the rules aloud for the audience right now, because no one cares that much.
It'd also probably take half an hour.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the default four factions are the Cat, the Iries, the Rebel, the Woodland Alliance, and the Vagabond, who has 2 pages of rules. Good God. Then they added the Lizard Cult, the Riverfolk Company, the Underground Duchy, the Corvid Conspiracy, the Lord of the Hundreds, and the Keepers in Iron. Lizards, otters, moles, crows, rats, and badgers, respectively. The badgers are paladins who center on holy sites, essentially, as their gimmick. They're kind of a half militaristic, half non militaristic faction. The rats are, like I said, all about murdering people. They're very militaristic. The corvids are weird. Apparently, they're. I don't know exactly how they work. All I know is that they're usually regarded as meh. The moles apparently are focused on tunneling and movement options, and that sort of border control. The riverfolk otters are the merchants and wheeler dealers, and the lizard cult are. I think they're militaristic, but I'm not quite sure. Almost all the DLCs have one militaristic and one non-militaristic, but I haven't played half of them. Like I said, I just heard there were otters and went straight for that. Man. Welcome to live stream where we read rules in our heads live on stream.
Yep. Not the most engaging content, but we're waiting for Nightminer, right?
Yeah. I don't think we necessarily want to start a game per se until we know what he's playing.
I think I should probably take the cats because you said that's the easiest one.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way
Especially because
to
I can
get
explain cats
people-
because I've actually played them.
That's a good point. Is there a way to grab the thing for that?
That is a great question. I don't know. Let's find out. In theory, it would be over here, right? Tools. Default tools and tools by the
There's
community.
a faction selector, which is probably what we want.
Yeah, where's that?
Already got it.
Nice.
The and under tools there's a faction selector.
There we go. Okay. Oh, there we go, yeah. Oh, now we have 2, I bet, because I clicked it and then realized, wait a minute, you already clicked it, didn't you?
Kind of a weird.
Oops,
way
I
of
did
doing
not mean to
this.
select a faction. I don't even know who I chose. I chose the woodland.
Oh, okay. Well, you have to move the faction selector to where you want to sit.
Yep. Oh, crap. Hang on. Click and drag everything. Delete all at once.
I cannot do that. Can you delete my stuff?
I could, yes. Because you want to drag it and then... Oh, yeah, you drag it and then you select? Yeah, because...
Yeah, I want to put it somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, some things won't select and you have to delete them manually. Because they're special. Yeah, every time you press that, it chugs, so I'm going to just let you do it for now, and then I'll let it play.
That
Yep.
sounds like a good
Every
idea.
single one has a unique board with winning conditions on the back, and the front is all your stuff. I'm debating if I try otters and try to play them correctly this time, but I might see what Night Miner wants to do and see if Night Miner wants to be a non-militaristic. There was a word for it. I don't remember what it is. 7 new messages. Fair. Fair, fair. But it was
I'm
Night
going
Miner. It
to
is
be
not
right
Night
back.
Miner. Okay. I'm going to keep reading the instructions. So I hopefully know what I'm doing. Golden rules. Card conflicts with the law, follow the card. If learning to play conflicts with the law, follow the law. You can follow a general rule and faction hireling, follow both. If you can't, follow the faction hireling rule. So, it's in general, rule number 1 is specific takes priority over general, which is a pretty common game rule for these kind of games. Cannot is absolute, cannot be overridden unless explicitly countered. Whenever it's unclear, players taking their turn chooses. Oh, for simultaneous effects, yes.
I've returned.
Yay! I appreciate that they don't spell out in these exact words, but they essentially play the rule. Rule is conflicts. Precedence essentially can be summarized as specific overrides general.
Yeah, I think it's the pretty typical, like,
Mm-hmm.
cards can break rules of the game if they
Yeah.
specifically say so, but
Mm-hmm.
otherwise.
And also, the law, aka the full rules, overrides the learning to play guide.
Which also makes sense. They might simplify a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also probably updated less.
Yeah, that's true, especially with, like, expansions and stuff. So does every faction have, like, a bird song, daylight, and evening? But they each do different things during those phases?
Correct. Those are the
Okay.
3 phases that everyone has. It's just what you can and are allowed to do. Yeah, it says right
And
on
how do we,
1.4, every player's turn has 3 phases.
and do we just do it in order? So, like, somebody will do their daylight phase, and then the next person will do their daylight phase?
Essentially,
Or is...
yes.
Okay, cool.
And I believe which turn is taken depends on the faction. So certain factions go before others. I believe birds go after cats, for instance, because cats are aggressive and birds are passive in this universe.
Interesting.
Although my brother is of the opinion that the cats should be the passive ones and the birds should be the aggressive ones. And he's not wrong.
I mean, I can see an argument for both.
Mm-hmm.
Because cats are very, like, they do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They're very assertive.
Yep.
But they're also very assertively, like, not doing anything a lot
Also,
of the time. Or
also for
whatever,
the
you know?
record, birds, I guess, means like owls and songbirds and cardinals, as opposed to corvids, which is where you find like the crows and the ravens and blue jays.
That's fair too.
Except it's
Yeah, if
probably
it's
put blue
like
jays in the birds because no one realizes that blue jays are actually corvids.
I'm not really sure what a corvid is specifically.
Um, it's a kind of bird.
Okay. Yeah, or like some sort of subset. Well, because I could see like raptors, but I don't like being more aggressive. But like I have no idea if a corvid is a subset of that, or if a raptor is a subset of that, or if those are just two different terms
That
that can
didn't narrow
mean
it down.
similar things.
Oscine passerine birds. Crows, ravens, rooks, magpies, jackdaws, jays, tree pies, chows, and nutcrackers. The crow family and or
Crow
corvids in
family.
English.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I see. It's like the family for crows. Okay.
But what is a flippin' passerine?
But it's
Passer.
cool. It's interesting that blue jays are part of the crow family. You don't usually
Mm-hmm.
like usually when you think about crows, you think about like the typical very black.
Apparently, Oscine essentially means songbirds, and passerine means perching. So it's perching songbird birds.
Hmm. Have you ever played Wingspan?
Never heard of it.
Really? Okay.
Nope.
It's a pretty popular board game about birds, and I
Interesting.
think it's really interesting because it's like it's a board game and it's cool as a board game, but incidentally, like everything in the game has to do with like bird facts. So like there's like one of the key stats that your birds has is wingspan, and you can only
Mhm.
eat birds of a smaller wingspan than you, and like hence the name of the game. But then and there's like they lay eggs differently, so like some birds in the game, every card in the game is a one of a very particular species of bird, and they
Mhm.
each have stats and stuff. And so like some birds will have like they'll lay eggs in different ways. Like some will lay like a whole bunch at a time, or some will lay like one, or some will. There's one like some birds in the game will lay eggs in other birds' nests because that's apparently a thing that some birds do. And it's like incidentally a really good way if you were like teaching a class or something about birds of just
Mhm.
playing the game, and you'd learn a whole lot. Sort of like Europa or something with
Yeah.
history, but like kind of cool.
Are you on key concepts yet?
Oh, I was reading.
The faction rules
I
for the cats.
I was reading the faction rules. Yeah,
Ah, okay.
I know I can make craft like or I can make the sawmills
Mm-hmm. You
and
have 3 different kinds of buildings that all give different effects. The problem is having the resources to make those buildings, as people are constantly taking your shit from you.
yeah, workshops, recruiters, all sorts of cool things.
You know, like I said, the biggest weakness of cat is action economy. Although they have a special rule that helps with that, if you notice the rule about bird cards. According to the rules, there are 4 kinds of suits: bird, fox, rabbit, and mouse. Birds are wild cards. You can treat any bird card as a card of another suit, even if you must take multiple of the same suit. If you prompt to discard, you must treat your bird as the prompted suit. If you are prompted to spend or give a bird card, you cannot substitute a non-bird card. That's important, bird being wild, because it depends on the faction. I believe it's because for cats, you can spend bird cards for extra actions. Whereas corvids need bird cards to do better things in their action economy.
Makes sense that they would use bird cards for that.
Yep. And
But
that's what.
that's a cool like conjunction of like game mechanics
Mm-hmm.
and the faction like lore and stuff where it's
Mm-hmm.
like
Because the way
they're
that
the birds, so they use the bird cards.
the way
But
that
everybody
corvids
else, the bird cards
yeah
are like a separate rule for. Yeah.
the way that corvids or that the bird's turn works for essentially is every single turn they must. You know how the cats have You can build, you can attack and move, you can do this and that. For
Yeah.
birds, it's not can, it's must. They
Mm,
build a turn order out of cards. The same cards you use for crafting and for everything else, combat and stuff. So they have one row or one column for building and recruiting, one column for combat, one column for building constructions, and I forget the last one. It might be drawing, it might be something else. And they can place any of three of the colored suits into there. So, for instance, if they place a red recruit card in, or a red card into the recruit, then every turn they must recruit on a red space that they control.
mm,
But if they put a bird in, they can recruit on any space they control.
I see.
The,
So you really want birds.
the
Yeah.
there's a catch though. If they ever can't do any part of their turn order, they immediately lose their turn and their entire turn order goes away. In addition,
Ah.
for every bird card they use, they lose points.
Okay. So you ideally want to do it with as few bird cards.
Mm-hmm. And then you have to
It's
choose
a
a new
trade-off.
leader. They have a system where they have four possible leaders who are all good at different things and have different starter card combos. So, like, one automatically can place cards into attack and move, one other one can automatically place into building and recruit. The meta, of course, is to use the second one first and the first one second, and everybody ignores the other two, because of course they do.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're like you have to plan a lot farther ahead,
Yes,
but if you do, it can be really powerful.
correct. You just have to make sure that you don't, because you can never remove things from the turn order, and you must add at least one every turn. So unless you can win the game relatively fast, you will eventually collapse at least once. The annoying part is, despite what the rules imply, it's really hard to force someone else to collapse if they're careful. Careful, for instance, means you generally want on your starting space to have the recruit there because that's a really stable one you probably won't lose. And you usually want at least one blue card in your attack action because it's really easy to always have the option to move, even if you don't attack. You can almost always find someone to move between two spaces. If you can't, you're probably so far gone you won't win anyway. And that's why, although there's 4 suits for cards, there's only 3 suits for spaces. Because there's no bird spaces, only fox, rabbits, and mice. And every space has building slots, which are very important to you because that's how you build stuff. Whereas ruins apply for the vagabond, and I believe the moles and the badgers. So if none of those are in play, the ruins won't matter. Forest enclosed by printed paths and clearings. How to win. The first player to reach 30 victory points immediately wins. If 2 players reach 30 simultaneously, the player currently who has a turn wins. If somehow the player who is currently taking their turn is not one of the 2 to reach 30 points, I guess everyone sucks because you just really suck at your turn because you actually helped 2 other people win and didn't win, so you just lose, I think, is how I'd rule that. Everyone else wins, you lose. Good day, sir.
If what happens?
Because by default, the first player to reach 30 victory points immediately wins. If
Yeah.
multiple players reach 30 or more simultaneously, whoever's
Uh,
turn it is wins. I would argue if somehow multiple players get 30 and the person taking their current turn did not, then they just lose and everyone
yeah.
else wins because
Everyone
you've
else
royally
wins.
screwed
Everyone,
up.
ties together.
You royally screwed up so bad that on your turn you let everyone else win, which essentially probably means you like attacked the rats and they killed more people and won the game or something. There aren't too many ways to score victory points outside of your turn.
Well, and it would have to happen to multiple people at the same.
Yes.
Like, you'd have to score points for other players.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple other players at the same time.
Simultaneously in one turn, yes. And I don't think you can attack multiple targets at once, unless I guess they were the otters or something, and the otters get partial credit, which I think is a mechanic. Because yeah, otters can hire their soldiers out as mercenaries, which the rules for otter mercenaries are when you take casualties, half come from your army and half come from the otters.
At what point is this game just EU4?
Um,
Condottieri, you know, painting a map.
Well, keep in mind that other than unique units and I guess government functions, so never mind. I guess yeah. You see why I grew to it so much so quickly between that and my Redwall love as a child.
Yeah.
Given that this game was created by fans of Redwall who wanted a board game that was Redwall-like, and then later they made a TTRPG that was Redwall-like. You might have heard of them, Magpie Games.
I've not, but
The Avatar RPG.
oh yeah,
Same
that's
people.
pretty popular. Yeah.
Yep. You know, the biggest TTRPG Kickstarter of all time. $9 million or so raised, 8 or 9. Some ridiculous number, including money from me.
Might not be the yeah, probably not the highest Kickstarter, but
I
maybe
believe it was in top
for
10.
a game. Yeah, for a role-playing game. Probably.
Yeah, it was the #1 tabletop RPG of all time, and it wasn't even close. It was like by a order of millions, and I believe it made it into top 10 RPG or top 10 Kickstarters of all time, like number 8 or so.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, like low end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's been some really crazy ones.
Mm-hmm. Like the potato salad. Okay, that didn't reach millions, but that did well.
I think that was only like a couple 100,000, but that's pretty funny. That's like I think that's like really what put them on the map, like Kickstarter or whatever. Like, because that was pretty early on.
Night Miner has messaged me.
Nice. Hopefully a positive message.
On his
And
way
not
home, 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yep. Not bad, not bad. Stream doing really well in numbers. Hell yeah. Nah. In general, Saturdays are just more popular than Fridays, and I knew this going in.
Sure. Yeah.
I just promised I'd do this today,
Well, yeah, because you're busy or whatever tomorrow.
tomorrow, and
Good work.
Sunday.
Nice.
Dominance
What's your
card.
current schedule?
I.
Okay, so maybe that's why I'm asking is because apparently maybe I'm wrong, or maybe
It's not
I'm
been
correct
very
in asking
consistent
because it's not been
later.
consistent. Okay.
There are only 2 consistent things. A, I always stream on Thursdays. B, I never stream on Tuesdays or Sundays. Those days are taken.
Okay.
But I've usually tried to stream on Saturdays, but sometimes it's had to be Friday due to conflict. And while I technically am trying to do Mondays, sometimes I have to push it to Wednesday. But in theory, it's supposed to be Monday, Thursday, Saturday.
Okay. So it's like Monday or Wednesday, definitely Thursday, and then Friday or Saturday.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is still more than a schedule than most of Twitch, apparently, because a lot of my friends who stream a lot just kind of stream whatever, and I'm like, oh, wow. How do you do
There's
that?
a lot of people I think that just don't have any sort of schedule.
Yep.
Which is fair. I mean, you know.
And if you, from what I can tell, at the end of the day, schedule's not what gets viewers. It's streaming longer, which is my weakness.
Well, yeah, I think it's also it's not necessarily schedule, but it's like consistency. You know,
Yep.
it's like you need to be streaming relatively often, not necessarily at a particular time or particular day. You know, and so because there's some like really big streamers that don't have a schedule at all.
Yeah.
You know.
They just go live, and they have so many fans that'll just show up.
Yeah.
You can craft most cards from your hands to gain an immediate or persistent effect. To craft a card, you must activate crafting pieces. The suits listed in the bottom left-hand corner. A crafting piece's suit matches its clearing. So you can only craft, I think, in the clearing that they're in, other than bird. Each crafting piece may be activated only once per turn. A 3-color question mark denotes a crafting piece of any suit. An immediate effect you must immediately resolve and then discard. If it shows an item, you may take the matching item from the supply, and you will then get victory points as a result. The items are just victory points as you discover new technology. Because the idea is that you're not just crafting things, you're crafting brand new items, so you're scientist researching. You can also craft a persistent effect that stay permanently. You can place those in your play area, and then you can use it whenever it's called into. You cannot craft duplicate persistent effects. Reasonable. When you move, take any number of your warriors from one clearing to an adjacent clearing. To take a move, you must control the origin clearing or the destination clearing, or both. And for context, ruling means you have more pieces and buildings than your opponent combined. So cats, especially early on, tend to rule a little more easily because they have multiple buildings in clearings. But buildings always lose fights if there's no one to defend them, so that sucks. Buildings are very bad at defending themselves against being stabbed. Battle. Choose a clearing with the number of your warriors as the clearing. You're the attacker. Choose an enemy to be the defender. Ambush cards. Have you read about ambush cards?
No. What are ambush cards?
Ambush cards are among the most important... They're not the most important cards in the game per se, but they're the ones you keep track of how many have been played. There are 5 ambush cards. A red one, an orange one, a yellow one, and 2 birds. Whenever you ambush someone, you can ambush to get an advantage. And if you're the defender, you can ambush someone, which will allow you to immediately do 2 hits against the other player. This makes attacking a little risky because you could have only 2 to attack with. And you're like, oh, they've only got 1, I'll be fine. But if they ambush you, you immediately lose both your attackers, and that's that.
Sort of like Scythe. It's a similar mechanic.
Yep. The only counter to an ambush is another ambush card. The catch is, as I mentioned, there's only 1 each of the 3 colors, so you can only ambush red in a red space. So the only possible way to foil an ambush would be to either have the red as well, and they had a blue, or you have a blue and they have the red, or you both have blues. And once you play an ambush card, you discard it, and they'll only come up again if they go through the discard pile, which is pretty big. The rules state you can go through the discard pile at any time. You can only go through the you can only go through the draw pile when you draw a card. I hate that when I change colors, it resets the camera. I was looking at that. What the? Game has frozen. Did it freeze for you too?
It kicked me out,
I saw
but
that,
I was able
yeah.
to rejoin.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay. After the ambush is resolved, you roll dice. The attacker deals hits equal to the higher roll, and the defender will deal hits equal to the lower roll. That is how combat works. If the rolls are equal, the attacker and defender will deal the same number of hits. The maximum hits you can deal from rolling equals the number of warriors in the clearing of the battle, whether you're the attacker or the defender. So for instance, if you have 2 attackers but you roll a 3, you only do 2 damage. You can't kill more people than you have. Just for simplicity's sake. Thank
I
you,
just
Mock.
noticed that it yeah.
It expired again, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for, I think it's your 22-month streak. Maybe. It's hard to tell because it
It's
is
also
weird.
weird because there's like some because
Because it's Prime, it's
the
not
it's
automatic.
the it's the prime one. It's not automatic, so there's like a couple every time. There's like a day or two in between,
Yep.
and so it's probably been a little bit longer than that.
Well, that's how it
Yeah.
works. Because I have the 24-month badge,
Yeah.
even though because it's automatic resolves as the streamer.
Makes sense.
So I am the only person who can use tier 3 emotes, all 0 of them. I deliberately don't have any tier 3. I think I have like one tier 2 emote. I'm not doing tier 3 emotes. Tier 3 is like $25. Good God.
Yeah.
I'm not making anybody pay for my shitty emotes that much. Especially because it's only like
Emotes
2
are
slots.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
It was really good on them to like do that because it's like some people's emotes are really good to the point where it's like I could see. I mean, I don't know if I would personally do this, but I could see people like getting a sub to their channel just to have that emote because it's a cool emote, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And
I
it's like
And
it's
especially
such a great system.
people who are partners who have like 30, 40 emotes, that's a good value.
Yeah.
Which helps encourage subscribing to partners to get even more emotes. Whereas affiliate caps by default at 10 normal, 5 follower, and 5 animated, so.
Uh,
And then they have the bit emotes, and then yeah, the tier 2 and tier 3 emotes. And bit emotes, you unlock more of them as people give more bits. So right now I'm only qualified for 3, but if people suddenly started just doing a lot of those, for instance, I can unlock the 4th, 5th, etc. tiers,
see,
which makes sense.
it's like you have to use them to actually get them. That makes
Yep.
sense.
Because it's like, why even make a 10,000 bit emote if no one's even given 10,000 bits?
Oh, it's like you need to hit that tier before.
Yep.
You
Well,
get
it's not that
okay.
tier. It's like 2 tiers ahead of what's been hit, I believe is how it works.
Oh, I see.
Which no one's hit any of the tiers, which makes sense.
What is the tier?
I think the lowest one is like 5,000, so $50, I think. Well, $50
yeah, that's
plus
kind of a lot.
plus the Twitch tax, so it's really more like 70.
Yeah, well, there's also like realistically, if you're gonna give a lot of money, you shouldn't give it through points anyway.
Mm-hmm. Bits aren't usually the best one. It's usually other stuff.
Well, yeah, like we're in like or like direct or whatever. You have like a donation button. I think you have a donation button. I think I gave you money for playing KOTOR.
Yep, basically.
KOTOR's a great game.
Mm-hmm. It is. I'll do KOTOR 2 eventually. Dark
I
Side.
hope that they make the remake at some point.
Yeah, the last news was they are restarting it with a new team and they don't have a timeline. So that's not great.
Hmm.
Optional.
It could be a positive decision that they made that.
Hopefully,
Presumably, there's good reason why they changed it.
yes. Mm-hmm.
But any changes in the game industry are potential death knells.
Yeah.
The if you ever hear about a game, I have a lot of friends in the game industry, and if you ever hear anybody like game gets delayed, it's like super big chance that it doesn't ever come out.
Especially if it's a console game that gets delayed too near to the end of the console life cycle,
Yeah.
and you're not Nintendo. I say that as if Nintendo hasn't done the same thing in the past. Like
There's also
most people agree Prime 4 is probably still coming, but they've definitely had other games that just got too close to the end of the GameCube lifecycle and they just canceled them, for instance.
there's some exceptions. I would also put if it was like the PlayStation Vita,
Mm-hmm.
like well after it was like not relevant anymore, was still getting games released for it.
Oh yeah, the
Which is
3DS
wild.
had games being released like 3-4 years ago,
Hmm.
and not just by Nintendo. The last 3DS game ever was I think 2 years ago, because they technically let you keep making stuff. They only stopped when they announced that everything was over. Okay, because players are new to the game. I'm relatively new. You're definitely new. We will use standard setup.
Hey, we can start setting things up.
If you want to play with 5 or more factions, you must use advanced setup, because many factions require corner clearings. I think 6 is the most you can have in this game, and I imagine it gets super messy.
It looks like 6 is the max.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an order? Yes, there's setup order ABC.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know which faction's which?
Yep. Every player places their score markers on 0 on the score track, so I'm still not even sure what faction I'm playing. I'm still kind of waiting on Nightmare to show up. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to put the pizza in the fridge after I grab a little more. Yeah, I'm cute. Yeah, that's what I figured. Why didn't you have the kitty came on? I need to be abandoned these.
Night Miner, are you there?
I am.
Hello.
Hello. I joined in as like, why is there absolute silence?
Yes. Baron is streaming, but he's going to put some pizza in the fridge or something.
Ah, weird. I already put pizza in the fridge.
Presumably because you're done eating that pizza. But you could
But-
ask the very valid question: are you ever done eating the pizza?
I mean, why are you done eating the pizza when you can simply continue to eat it?
Exactly. Are you online? The server's up.
I am slowly loading up everything. I just got back
Okay,
from
cool.
an event.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Yeah.
Should also check. There's another live stream I was going to watch today that was also during my event. So I was like, not going to watch that, I guess. Wonder if they're still live. Ah, yes, they are. There was a root tournament I was in, and I lost. But the finale is finally today.
Ah, nice. That's cool. So you're gonna like completely destroy us since I hear you're the professional?
I mean, I was in a tournament. That doesn't mean I'm good.
That's true. That's true. Any like,
Let me put it
If
this way. I
it-
lost first round.
yeah. If
However-
it's the sort of tournament that you could just sign up for, it's not necessarily great indication that you're amazing.
However, our game was considered by the commentators a very solid game among all the players in it. It took us 5 hours.
Okay. Is that a typical length of time, or like what is a typical?
No, that is very atypical.
I assume that that's an atypical length of time, but like what is a normal length?
So if it's a 3-player game, I'd say an hour or two. With a 4-player game, maybe 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
The tabletop simulator. There we are. I'm too late. I missed the prediction. I like to join the prediction and then bet 1 point on whoever didn't bet. Like, on whoever faction nobody bet on.
Is there? Wait, there's a prediction?
For the tournament.
Oh, the tournament.
Of who's going to win. I always like to bet 1 point on whoever nobody else is betting on. This is the hedge bet. I don't actually think they're going to win. But if I do win, I get a lot of points. And if I don't win, I only lose 1 point. So win-win. It paid off for me last round.
I sent you the password to the server since Baron's
Great.
not here.
Let's find that. All right, Tabletop Simulator has finally loaded. We are going to join. Oh, look at this. It says my friend has a server. That looks like the one I want.
Do you have any idea what faction you're gonna play?
I have not decided. So have you played Root before?
I have not.
Okay, so basically there's some factions that are pretty good if you are playing with new players.
Yeah, I was told that the cat one is pretty good for new people.
Yeah, cats are very straightforward. Cats are a little harder to win with, but the rules for them are pretty straightforward. The bird one, the blue faction, are also very straightforward to learn. Although the strategy for them is a little more complicated, they have an easier time pulling off a win. We are almost loaded in. So there's actually, I think there's, I'd want to say with 3 players, there's 5 factions that are on the recommended list, and the other 5 are a lot less recommended. I see Baron was really poking around with some of the things here. I guess you probably were poking things too.
Yep.
Let's see. Well, I can't see that board over there, so that's just typical loading into Ultimate Mod.
I can't see that board over there either.
Normally, when you load in, it just, you can't see it, and they'll refresh and everything will work. I don't remember which one the refresh button is, though. Sometimes you just do a... Also, as a trick, if you ever want to read the bottom of something, you can just hold Alt and Shift together.
Ah.
But that way you don't have to flip over the boards if you're trying to see the setup instructions.
That is very helpful. Let me do that. This game has
Yeah, I guess,
so many different...
since we're here anyway, we might as well play one of these fancy maps instead of one of the built-in maps. I keep meaning to get one of these printed in real life, but, well, that costs money, and you need to find a good printer that's not going to charge too much. I've already printed a custom deck in real life from one of the other fan content things. So it's, yeah.
You know how
too much money.
Yeah. Do you know how to print... Have you ever printed, like, blocks for anything? Like for a game? Or, like...
You mean, like dice? Or, like...
Like, so... I want to...
Straight up wooden cubes.
Yeah, more like wooden cubes with stuff on them. Or like tiles. Like, tiles might be better. But the, there's a game, Secret Hitler. It's a social deduction board game that I've been... There's an expansion for it that they never actually printed. Or, like, it's like a community-made expansion for the game. But they haven't printed it in, like, real life. You can buy. That I'd like to get the expansion. But their solution is to give you a bunch of PDFs of things to print. And that doesn't line up with the game because the game actually has like pieces, right? So like there's actually like pieces, little like tile pieces, and it's like it'd be really nice to like.
So if you want tiles,
just, like print tiles like that with the game.
If you want tiles like the ones in Root, the little cardboard squares, I know a company that does those. I'm not sure about wooden blocks.
Wooden blocks are
I'm sure someone
usually...
exists.
What I've done sometimes is I cheat and I buy other games that have the wooden pieces I want. Especially games of Risk are really good for just bulk buying pieces. Because there's a Risk for almost any war type game, and there are so many good pieces. If you want military, for instance, Risk Godstorm is really good for that because they just have generic soldiers.
That's a good point. That's interesting.
I bought a copy of that one time just for D&D tokens.
But yeah, like, sort of similar to kind of like these tiles that they have for this game, I think, except a little bit bigger, I think would work for what I want.
Hey Baron, can you opt me in Tabletop Simulator?
Opt you? Hang on.
Like, give me whatever the permissions is that lets me poke stuff properly?
Yeah, hang on one second.
I can then spawn in the cube of op.
Hang on, I'm trying to figure out how I do that.
Can you tell that Night Miner plays a lot of Minecraft?
That's not what the cube of op has anything to do with.
Well, just the word in general.
Oh, I mean, doesn't everybody use that in every game?
No.
I don't know. I've only heard that in the context of Minecraft. But...
Weird.
It is not letting me right-click on your name or do anything like that, so how do I opt you?
I think you just like I don't know. You think
Oh,
I
here
play
we go.
multiplayer
I
this a lot?
I can promote you.
Yeah, promote sounds right.
Totally right.
Nightminer is now promoted.
So one of the objects which I would give you, this is the auto player promoter. Very great object. You want to save it. You can right click and save object. You just spawn that in whenever you start a game, it'll automatically promote everybody.
So
At
they all
least
have
assuming you
host
trust
powers.
everybody.
I was gonna say that sounds like something I don't want.
I mean,
the-
practically speaking,
with
what's
the
the
kind of
worst we're
players
gonna
that
do?
with the kind of players that I play with, I'll put it
Yep,
this way.
That's exactly.
No.
why I don't do that.
I'm talking players who outright said, "Yeah, I want to play tabletop sim so that I can grope other players via VR."
That's,
He has been
Oh,
kicked
man.
from the group permanently after
Yeah.
much worse incidents.
yeah. That
Even though
sounds
he
like a
only wanted to
good
do it to the
reason.
guys, it's like still no.
Alright, my evil plan has worked. By flipping the table and rewinding time, I can now see the buttons on the board.
Yay!
I don't know if
Oh,
that's the-
Night Miner. Mock is going to be the cats. Who do you want to play?
I mean, the cats work. So, okay, let me pull up...
Fact.
The easiest thing to pull up just to... Oh, that's not the button I want.
I
This
don't think we
button.
want advanced setup.
I'm just pulling up the advanced setup card because it gives us the faction names. And I will divide these into reasonable to play and not reasonable to play with newbies.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mock says he wants to be the cats because from what we've heard, they're the simplest to play as a newbie.
Not reasonable, not reasonable,
Well, they're the ones I've been reading about.
reasonable. This one, Vagabond's great for newbies, but you need more players. You want to have a good Vagabond game.
Yeah, it's not great.
Otters
with
are not good for newbies, as you probably have experience with.
playing otters unless you want a non-militaristic, in which case I'll not be otters and I'll play someone.
I mean, do you want to play otters again?
I always
Okay.
want to play otters. It's me.
Trying to decide
But
lizards.
from what I've
they
heard,
can
otters
do-
are actually really hard to play with newbies because a lot of
Yeah.
newbies are like, I don't want to give you money.
Or alternatively, they're like, I will buy from you every turn. So,
That-
okay, these
that's
bottom five
fine.
are the- that makes the otters just run away with the game.
Yes, that's the point. I don't mind
Otters'
that.
performance is very much dependent on the other players.
From what I've read, they can still be strong if you can otter ball correctly and just get some points up.
Yeah.
But everyone
again-
agrees they're at their best with a large group who actually utilizes their abilities.
So okay, cats we already selected to me. Cats we already have selected in the game.
Mhm.
So I definitely say we want one of these two militiants, either Eerie or Lore of the Hundreds.
Yep.
Both of them are pretty good with newbies because they're both pretty straightforward. So if you want to be a militant, one of those two is the one I'd go.
Yep. Because I know the
I
other
feel like I
militiants
shouldn't be
aren't the
rats
other
because-
militiants the badgers and the lizards.
Yeah, badgers are badgers. The militiants are rad. Badgers and moles. Moles
Okay.
they're moderately newbie friendly. They're a little weird.
I want to play moles someday, but not this time.
I could do moles. I might be more reasonable if I do moles and go a not ideal strategy with them.
That's fair. That's fair. Up to you what you want to do.
If I go rats,
Yeah.
that might not be.
Honestly, I
They're-
would
they're
say
very aggressive.
please don't do rats. Rats, I'd say not with this setup. I don't want to be dealing with constantly being attacked by rats right now if I play otters.
So what I'm going to recommend, I'd say honestly, Baron being one of the militant factions might be the best idea here.
Yeah, it's true.
And then I do an insurgent.
I just like insurgents.
Insurgents are the great ones.
I know.
I
I,
mean,
I just like the insurgents.
I could also be otters.
That's true. You could be.
So okay, let me give a brief overview of all the ones I have here. Woodland Alliance, they start with no board presence, and they basically trying to spread their sympathy all over the map.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of do their own thing as everybody else is like getting really annoyed by them doing their own thing.
Yep.
So they don't have direct military power, but they do have a lot of ways to really annoy other factions.
Yes.
Corvus Conspiracy takes that to the maximum and is literally just placing secret plots that annoy other factions.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard that currently corvids are no, it's lizards that are considered bottom tier.
So lizards, otters, and corvids are generally considered the three weakest factions.
That's weird.
Lizards
I've heard otters are the
because there's a
strongest.
lot of RNG. Otters because it's very easy for the rest of the table to lock them out. And Corvid Conspiracy because their scoring is very, very public. So you really know exactly how many points they're going to score next round.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's
It's
what I've
very
read
easy to
about
tell.
corvids. Is corvids are easy to shut down, and yeah, lizards because of just how they play is very
Although,
RNG.
in
But
the
I've
last
heard.
tournament, Corvid surprisingly had like a 30% win rate, which is surprisingly high. We're
Yeah.
not. There was a little bit of a buff to them. We're not sure if the buff was that significant or if just people were really underestimating them.
Yeah, but I've heard otters are still considered fairly reasonable, even if they're not utilized as much. They're just not top tier.
Otters are definitely top of the low tier. I'll give you that.
That's weird because I
Okay.
was hearing they were like top of the mid tier.
Top tier factions. Woodland Alliance is
Yeah.
one of the top tiers.
Yeah.
Along with Keepers and Iron are
Mhm.
top tier, and Vagabond is top tier.
Yes, those are the three I've heard.
Eerie is top tier if you can play them really well.
Yep.
And then Hundreds and Cats are both mid tier.
Yep.
Hundreds, they really run away with the table with newbies because most newbies aren't very aggressive. And Hundreds, you literally have to be aggressive to play them.
So what do you want to play today?
I mean, I'll play anything. I'm
Yep.
going to either be whatever you want to do, military or insurgent. I'll just do the opposite,
Yep.
because games with 3 players tend to work best if you're 2 militiants. We could do 3 militiants. That tends to be a little bit of a slower game, but
It's true.
it
I
should be
don't
fun.
think we'll finish this today. We wanted to finish this another week, all things considered. Because yeah.
I mean, we'll find out.
Yep. Because I
The
do
game
need.
can be quick.
Yes, it's true. Here's what
Also,
I'll do.
I'm gonna.
I want to play otters eventually. Maybe I'll wait until we have another player or two. So
Yeah,
today
I'd probably do.
I'll do the birds. Because I haven't
Alright.
played birds yet.
So if you're gonna do birds, I think I'll do an insurgent to. Unless you want me to also go military. I don't
Insurgents.
plan to being.
If you did that.
I'd have to build a weird duchy strategy to make. Duchy has its main strategy makes them one of the strongest factions.
Mm-hmm.
If I play into their weakness a little bit more, they end up being a little bit easier to stop.
Yeah,
Hundreds is actually the best counter against Duchy.
that's fair.
Because Duchy's big thing is they don't need a lot of board presence to win.
I was gonna say I
Despite
think the
being a
hundreds are the
military.
best counter in general against the factions that don't have board presence necessarily, because they just are good at shutting people down. If you
Well, I mean, hundreds tend to be a good counter to a lot of factions, like Keepers, Cats.
isn't everybody
even
a good
Eerie to
counter
an
to
extent.
cats?
Not necessarily. Yes, let's see. Do I want to be Otters, Corvids, or Alliance? I'm not going to be Alliance just because Alliance wins can be really dumb sometimes.
You should be corvid.
The last game I played with Alliance, I nearly won with a scoring 16 points in 1 turn.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Is that Alliance and Corvids are the two highest scorers? I'd say you should be
Corvids
Corvids.
can be a high score. Okay, yeah, I'll do Corvids.
You should be Corvids.
They are easy enough to shut down if everybody's paying attention. Both of you have the military power. You can shut me down.
Yep.
Okay, so these cards were just for the sake of talking, so we would delete
I
them
know.
now.
Yeah. So now I actually go to rules and tools.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually delete cats. Yeah. So the easiest setup is we go to standard setup, and it gives us all board. If we want setups, we want, where is the button? Use it all the time. Standard setup.
Oh, which just gives 6 things on the table.
So you have 6 player table board things. And these ones are automatically linked, so when you click the buttons, it'll move your player icon over there.
Nice.
Also, I don't know why we have a floating instruction manual here.
I copied it so we could both read at the same time.
Oh, I see.
It was just easier.
There we go. So choose your seats, and trying to remember if I haven't played standard setup in such a long time.
I
I'm trying to
know.
remember the specific order we're all supposed to go. Advanced setup's way better once everybody knows the factions.
Isn't it like I forget if cats are the first or cats are the last? It's one of the two.
Cats are the first.
Cats are generally first, yeah. So Mock, I guess, gets this whole tie of the table to himself. That'll probably be easiest.
Yep. I'll let you go wherever you want, Night Miner, and then I'll take whatever seats left.
So as Eerie, you might do better if you're in third seat.
Fair.
Actually, I think Corbin might go after Eerie. It's been a while. I'll just spawn it over here. We'll go whatever direction
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yep.
Would you like to use the tournament buff for Corvids? Basically, they just get, instead of 2 of each token, they have 3 of each token. Practically speaking, You probably won't notice the difference in this game.
No.
The Erie go before the Corvettes.
Yep.
I've not played standard setup in so long. The way advanced setup works is you draft all the factions, and whoever gets first pick a faction is going to be the one who goes last.
Yeah, I know
So
that.
anybody can go first, anybody can set up first.
To set up an interesting game, choose factions whose reach values added to the total recommended reach for your player count.
Yeah.
We
Marquistic
got right.
cats
fine.
have
I mean,
the highest reach, lizards have the
yeah.
lowest reach.
Generally speaking, if you include cats and you're in a 3-player game, you'll meet the reach requirement.
Also,
honestly, in any count.
Interesting that it
include cats,
says
you'll meet
first, second vagabond. You have multiple vagabonds then?
Yeah, there's 2 vagabonds.
Interesting.
Technically speaking, there's no limit to how many vagabonds you have if you have enough pieces. The River Folk expansion, which added otters and lizards, also added in a second vagabond.
Interesting.
I would probably avoid them unless you're in a 5-player game at least.
Oh,
Though,
yeah, for
because
sure.
Vagabond has the least board presence of everyone.
Correct.
So it makes the map really empty.
Yeah. Like I was telling Mock is outright, at least 2 militaries is usually recommended because less than that and the military player just runs away with everything.
Let's see. We're going to want the battle map. We are going to want... We don't need Lizard Wizard, Molemonger. I think that's everything we need. Battle map's cool. You just click on it, and it rolls the dice for you. Look at that.
Yeah, our recommended reach is at least 18, and we have 20. Yay.
Corvids have a pretty low reach, according to that, if I remember.
Yes, 3.
Not as low as lizards. The reason why lizards are so low is because lizards cannot move or battle unless they are either first attacked or they play really suboptimally.
I was going to say, I've heard lizards are not good.
They're not bad. They actually were the winner of the tournament this year.
Oh.
As in, the person who won the tournament played lizards in the final round.
Interesting.
The entire final round of the tournament was a bunch of underdog factions winning. Nobody expected it, except I randomly guessed that all the underdog factions were going to win and ended up being right. Not that gave me anything.
Hey, Mock, remember the whole thing about specific overrides general?
Yeah.
And by default, rules are always tied if you have equal number of pieces, but birds override ties.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
So,
Let's
yep,
see, what
as an
map?
example.
I guess we should,
When you
maybe
say
we should
birds,
just play
do
the
you mean-
default map.
Irie, not Corvid.
Yeah, just you.
Just
Yeah,
me.
Cool.
Let me double check. How normal is
Just-
this map?
Yeah, so it looks like Irie is owls, vultures, eagles,
Paranormal.
and what's the builder's bird? That's not a bird of prey. Although I guess that could be a falcon.
Builder's also kind of the lowest tier bird, so...
I was gonna say
yeah.
their special
Builder
ability
sticks.
is you get craft points.
If you do the math, I think you get at most like 8 extra points
Uh-huh.
with them, assuming you craft every single item, which you rarely do.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
I decide if there's a fan map here that is like a good newbie map. Otherwise, we'll just use a normal map.
This urban one, I don't really know where I would put my my keep.
Your keep goes in one of the 4 corners in general.
But like, one at the top corner has only one spot.
So you don't want
So
that
you
one
wouldn't wanna
probably.
do that. It's just weird that they have uneven number of spots. What do the
Yeah.
numbers in the spots mean? Like, is it
There's
three here?
some of these fan maps have fan scenarios. They don't matter for normal play.
Okay, cool.
Let me double check. I think I had a pretty good map in my saved objects somewhere. Been a little bit since I played Root.
Oh yeah, because this is a fan map we loaded because I was just showing off the different maps.
Let's see, that one's a pretty good map. So do you want to use the normal map, or since some of you are first time playing, or do you want to use a fan map?
I was thinking possibly normal or possibly winter.
Yeah, I think one of the like official maps probably makes the most sense for the first time.
Let's see what mountain
Yeah,
looks
so
like.
I'd say Lake's pretty straightforward. There's just one special thing going on with that map. Winter has the problem is not very connected. There's 2 very big choke points,
Yeah.
but we can work with that.
And then mountain similar, where a lot of it's very connected. And
Mountain's
then
got a lot of extra rules on it. It's less connected than it looks at a glance, because there's a lot of paths start covered up.
Oh, I see. Yeah, never mind, none of that.
I'd say Mountain has enough extra things going on that I wouldn't do that one, but Lake just has one extra thing going on. It's pretty straightforward.
What's the extra thing?
So the lake has the ferry, And you can move once per turn. You can move with the ferry and lets you draw a card. So you move any of the 4 lake clearings, any of the other 4 lake clearings.
Ah, got it.
Assuming it's a valid move. So like, do you have to?
And then if you're a river
got the rules.
if you're an otter or a vagabond, do you ignore the ferry and just travel via the lake? I'm guessing.
No. Vagabond still needs to use the ferry if he wants to go across the lake, but otters can just swim across. But they can use the ferry if they want, just to change where it's located.
Yeah, sure.
And draw a card. So lakes overall, it's got a little bit of a choke point, but the ferry mitigates that. Plus, it just look at that little guy. Look at that lake.
That little guy, that lake.
Also, it gives an obvious spot where the cats probably want their keep.
You think? The one that has 2
I
as
was
opposed to
thinking that
1.
too.
The one with 2 clearings and the ferry. Yeah.
Ferry is going over here now. You can't have it.
Can you do that?
I don't see any reason why not. We roll a dice for where the ferry starts.
Ah.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to start there on purpose.
I think it
I'm
starts
pretty
there
sure it's
a little
supposed to
bit.
start there on purpose. Should we use this map or?
Yeah, I mean, I
I'm
think
fine
it's a good
with it.
map. So
Cool.
the only rule you need to know about is so the lake just counts as a river for anything that says river.
And for the sake of
All these are
balance, I'll
considered
start
connected.
the opposite corner of where Mock starts out.
Well, that's actually the rule. Is you're supposed to start at the opposite corner.
Yep.
At least when we're in standard setup. The other thing advanced setup lets you do is you got a lot more freedom when you're set up. That's part of it. And one thing you can do on Tabletop Simulator, which is a must, is increase the size of the keep. Because the tiny little keep is just not intimidating enough.
And it's also
Some
not
Tabletop
super-
Simulator tricks. If you
Oh.
select
Also-
all these cats, and then hold Alt and right click, it'll just drop a single cat.
Oh, that's a good point. There's so many like little quirks.
Mm-hmm.
You can hold Alt and Shift, look at the underside of the lake map, which is the same as the top side, but backwards. In the actual printed version, the underside of the lake map is the mountain map. But for obvious reasons, they didn't do that in Tabletop Simulator. So while we're setting it up, I'll say generally it's a good idea. It doesn't really matter which one of the 3 you put in your keep, but generally I think putting your recruiter outside your keep tends to help.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Sawmill and keep is a pretty popular strategy. The last time I played, I did workshop and keep, but it worked out pretty well for me as well. So,
Do I have to put them in 3 different places, or can I put them in?
let me double check. It's been so long since I've used standard setup that I think it. Yeah, you can put in your keep clearing if you want. Although, I'd say generally speaking, it's better if you don't, just because that gives you a spot to build in later for points.
Yep, because
Yeah,
that's
it's fair.
But you can't guarantee you'll
That's a-
still have
it's a
control
s-
of the 2 adjacent clearings.
That's a good point. That's a safe build. What does the workshop do again?
It lets you craft.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yeah. So let me spawn in the deck. So we are using the Exiles and Partisans deck because the base deck sucks.
Sure.
It's newbie friendly enough. It's just also just a way better deck. It actually makes crafting worth it, and yeah.
Wait. Let me also read.
So okay. Should I
Any of
explain
these.
some of the basic rules, or do you guys both think you have a pretty firm grasp of them from reading?
I think I have a pretty firm grasp, but I've also played before, so.
Quick run through wouldn't hurt.
Okay. So key idea. Your goal is to win by being the first to
Yep.
score 30 points. As soon as someone scores 30, the game immediately ends.
Yep.
Some basic things that you can use to score is you can get score from crafting items. You can score from destroying either buildings or tokens in battle. Buildings are like the Eerie Roosts. Tokens are like my plots.
Cool.
And you can also score in a unique way that's described by your faction board. In the case of Marquise de Cat, they score by building buildings. In the case of the Eerie, they score based on the number of roosts they have out at the end of their turn. And in the case of the Corvids, they score by flipping plots. So, some basic actions to talk about. Move, battle, rule. So, first off, these things are clearings.
Yep.
Clearings are connected by paths, which makes them adjacent. And there's a couple other times where the term adjacent might come up on some crafted effects. So when something says adjacent, that's the same as if they're connected by a path. The ruler of the clearing is whoever has the sum of their warriors and buildings in that clearing. So like this clearing right here has a cat and a workshop. It is ruled by the cats. This clearing over here has a roost and however many Eerie warriors are going to be there, so it's ruled by the Eerie. We just get all the Eerie warriors that belong here. Now, as a special rule, the Eerie rule on ties. So if the Eerie were to be in this clearing, normally a tide, nobody rules. But in this case, the Eerie rule. Because they rule on ties.
That's good.
Okay, so that's rule. In order to move, moving requires you to either rule the clearing you're moving from or the clearing you're moving into. So as an example, the Eerie can move to any of these 3 adjacent clearings because they rule this clearing over here. Likewise, the cats could all move into that Eerie clearing or between any of their clearings right now because they rule. Now let's suppose we have this Eerie warrior in this clearing over here. He cannot move because he does not rule any of the adjacent clearings and he does not rule his own clearing. Now an exception to this rule is the Corvids. They are nimble, so they can move regardless of whether they rule. As one last note, the Fairy requires you to rule either the clearing you're moving into or the clearing with the Fairy, just like normal rules, like normal move rules. So like you can rule the Keep right now, or you can rule any of these 3 dock clearings if you want to move with the Fairy.
You have to move into a clearing that you own?
So you have to either move into a clearing you rule or move from one, yes.
Yes,
one of those two has to be your ruler.
Yeah, if you're moving out of a clearing you don't own, it needs to be into a clearing that you do own.
Yes.
Cool.
And the exception to that is the Corvids, who don't have to rule to move. And the Vagabond, but he's not here. Let's see, battle is the next thing I should talk about. So in battle, each side can roll up to... We're going to roll dice for the battle, and these dice have numbers ranging from 0 to 3. The attacker takes the larger number, and the defender takes the smaller number. So you're guaranteed in most battles to do at least as well as your opponent did, if not better. If you're the attacker, that is. So let's set up a mock battle. So let's say the Eerie are over here attacking this cat with 2 Eerie warriors. With 2 warriors, they can deal up to 2 hits, and the cats with 1 warrior can deal up to 1 hit. So you'll roll the dice over here. It'll give you your 2 numbers. In this case, we got 3-0, so that means that the Eerie will deal... They got up to 3 hits, but they only have 2 warriors, so they deal 2 hits to the cats. This cat's dead.
Yeah. And if
Now,
if it was a 1 instead of a
yeah, if it was a 3-1.
Yeah.
Let's just roll again and we'll see what happens. So over here is a 3-2. So in this case, you both get to deal your maximum number of hits. So the Eerie would do 2 hits, kill this cat. The cat deals 1 hit, kills the Eerie.
Cool.
Now, a special rule I should mention about battle is before the battle starts and you roll, you do have the option to play an ambush card if it matches your clearing. So in this case, if you have a red ambush card or a wild ambush card, you could play that and his 2 Eerie warriors would be dead. And that goes before you roll, so the roll would just be cancelled. If he instead brought, say, 3 warriors with, your ambush would remove his 2 warriors, and then you'd roll with the battle 1v1. That make sense?
Yep.
And if he plays an ambush card, you also have the option to play another matching ambush card to cancel his ambush.
To cancel or to just have both effects go off?
Both the ambushes are removed, so nothing happens with the ambush.
Okay, it's straight up just countering it. Okay.
Yep. One last thing to mention with battle is, let's suppose the Eerie were battling over here, and they deal at least 2 hits in this clearing. So in this case, they would remove the cat warrior and remove this building, and they score 1 point for removing that building. So every time you remove the enemy cardboard in battle, whether you're attacker or defender, you get a point.
What happens to that building?
It goes back to the faction board.
Does it like go back to the spot so I would have...
Yeah, leftmost column, which means if you build that again, you can score those points again.
Okay, cool.
Or in the case of the Eerie Roost...
cheaper again.
Yeah, in the case of the Eerie Roost, if they lose Roost, that means they score fewer points at the end of their turn.
Yeah, at least for me, yeah.
Yep. Alright, let's get all these Eerie back where they belong. And let's get all the cats where they belong. Let's see, anything else? Crafting. So let me grab a card.
How do you get cards?
So everybody
you
drops
get at the end of your
cards at the
turn,
end of their turn.
And I get a
So-
bonus one at my first start of my turn if I don't have any, so I can't accidentally go bankrupt.
Yeah, so cats, they get 1 card at the end
I'll
of their
shuffle
turn,
it-
and you
I'll
get
shuffle
additional
and give
cards if you
cards
build
for
enough
now.
recruiters. So if you look over here, your 3rd and your 5th recruiter both increase your card draw. Eerie, they gain more card draw if they have enough roosts. Corvids gain more card draw if they have a face-up plot with the coin
So
icon.
just to clarify, when you say card draw, that means like at the end of your turn you'll draw more cards per turn.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So, just for example's sake, let me pull up a few cards as example things that can be crafted.
I dealt everybody 3 cards too, so
So, over here I have 2 cards. I have Eerie Emigre and I have Marine Broker. Eerie Emigre, you see, has 2 red fox icons, which means if you want to craft this card, you need to have 2 fox crafters. So for the Eerie, that means they have to have 2 roosts in 2 separate fox clearings. For example, this one and this one. For the cats, they need to have 2 workshops in 2 fox clearings, which could be 2 workshops in the same fox clearing if there's enough buildings, or in separate ones. So in this case, cats are a little better at crafting in the sense that you can have multiple workshops in a single clearing, so you don't need to roll as many clearings. But Eerie, their crafting piece has another purpose instead of just crafting, which tends to be a big advantage for them. Now, there's a couple different types of cards you can craft. Most cards with these stone backgrounds, that's a passive ongoing effect. You'll keep that until something plays a card that makes you have to discard it. So this should be a permanent effect you have. Like this one says, whenever another player crafts an item, you draw a card. That's a permanent thing for the rest of the game. That's not what I want. Trying to find an item card. We're probably gonna want to shuffle this again because I'm looking at a lot of these cards.
damn it, I like the cards I have.
I mean, if you want to keep them with the knowledge that I've seen, here we are. So this right here is an item card. It has a yellow
We can
background,
shuffle just
which
what's
means.
left,
I mean, I could. I've just seen a lot of these, so I know some of the things you don't have.
but I know what I do have and I want it.
If you're fine with that knowledge, then I will.
I think the
try-
cards I have are strong enough that I'm okay with that knowledge.
So over here is Bake Sale. This card, you use 2 bunny crafters. You'll get the coin items, which just means there's a limited amount of coins, so you can only craft up to 2 of those. And you get 3 points, and then this card is discarded instead of keeping it. Any questions on crafting?
What does that item do?
So items don't actually do anything in this game apart from there's just a marker of nobody can. You can only craft up to 2 coins. So if you try to craft coins and it's already 2 been crafted, you just can't get anything.
Whereas you can only craft 1 hammer or 1 crossbow.
Yes.
So
In games
essentially,
with the Vagabond or the Hundreds, items have some additional functionality.
Okay.
And there are
so
a couple cards in the deck which will say something like exhaust an item, which basically means you flip over an item, so it's a 1 use per item you crafted.
Okay.
and then I think there's certain fan scenarios that add more uses for them as well.
Yeah. The main ones is Vagabonds and Hundreds are the main ones that use them, but there
Oh,
are
yeah.
a couple cards in this deck that use them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's put all those in there. Let's see, anything else I should mention? There are dominance cards in this. You probably don't want to play dominance,
No.
but it changes your win condition.
No.
Generally speaking, dominance does not win. But sometimes it does. So if you really think dominance is the play, feel free to try it.
Essentially, dominance is if you draw a dominance card, and you decide to win via violence as opposed to winning by points, but you lose the ability to win by points as a result.
The other thing about dominance is
They're really
all
good
the
for
dominance
filling
cards
out your.
can still be used as their suit. So like you could put a dominance card in a decree. You could spend a dominance
I
card.
was gonna say they're really good for
a bird
decree
card.
cards.
Yes. I think that's everything to mention, so should be able to get started and go from there.
Yep.
Looks like I need to set up. Oh,
Mhm.
one other thing I should mention. So I am the Corvids. And as part of me being the Corvids, I'm going to be placing plots on the board.
Yep.
These plots have 1 of 4 different effects, and you should know about them because I'm going to be placing plots in your clearings, and you might have to decide whether you want to let that plot live or not.
Yep.
So there are 4 different effects I can place. So this one right here is the snare. When the snare is in the clearing, you are not allowed to move out of the clearing. You can only move into it. And you're also not allowed to place pieces in the clearing. So for example, let's say I have a snare in one of these roost clearings, you cannot recruit into this clearing with your roost. Or if I have a snare on one of your sawmills is no longer producing wood. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
when I flip an extortion plot, I steal a card from everybody who has a piece in that clearing. And then after that, it gives me an ongoing effect of increasing the number of cards I draw each turn. Flipping a raid plot does
Wait,
nothing.
what do you steal from everybody?
I steal a card, yes.
Okay.
When I flip a raid plot,
Do you get
nothing
to
happens.
choose, or is that random, or do we
It's random.
choose? Okay.
Yeah, raid plots, nothing happens when I flip this, but when a raid plot is destroyed in battle, that I spawn a bunch of warriors in all the adjacent clearings. So 1 warrior per adjacent clearing. Generally speaking,
Yeah.
raid plots are best when if you remove them when they're hidden, I reveal, haha, it was a raid, and then a bunch of warriors pop up. Finally, the bomb plot, when I reveal that, all enemy pieces in that clearing are removed, and I score points for, like, if I remove any of your buildings.
Do we know which one an item is or not, or no?
You will not know, when it's on the board, they will be face down like
That's what I
this,
thought.
so you have no idea what the plot is.
That's what I assumed. So if we destroy them, what happens?
So, 3 of the plots, if you destroy them, so first off, if I'm defender in battle, they deal an extra hit.
Yeah.
And if you destroy them, these 3, you just score a point, nothing bad happens. But if you destroy a raid plot, warriors pop up around the board.
Okay, that
like
makes sense.
all adjacent clearings. So raid's the plot I place if I think he's going to get killed in battle. The other 3 all effects if I think I might.
So that's why there's
survive
the
that
gamble
different.
of you place one of them in your opponent's main HQ, and they're like, but it could be a bomb, but it could be a raid.
Yes. You do have one other special ability. At
Kitty.
any time during your turn, you can reveal to me a card matching your clearing. So for example, let's say I have a plot in this bunny clearing. You can reveal to me a bunny card and try to guess what this plot is.
Uh-huh.
If you guess correctly, the plot's removed and you score 1 point.
Yay.
And even like if it's a raid plot, the raid doesn't trigger. If you guess wrongly, I get that card.
And how do we do that if we have a bunny card?
Yeah, if it's in a bunny clearing and you have a bunny card, or you can play it
Okay.
do a bird card.
Cool.
As a tip,
The,
this is a great use of dominus cards
That's a good point. Because it
because
doesn't really
they're
matter.
kind of useless. I would not be doing a dominance play. Corvid cannot win by dominance unless you are really, really, really lucky.
Same for like
So, and
vagabond stuff, I guess.
How are you playing these plots? Is there some placement requirements?
Yeah, on my turn, I'll be placing the plots. I basically have to remove my warriors in order to place the plots. So I have to
Okay.
get a warrior into that clearing. And one special thing is the keep. I'm not allowed to place things in the keep's clearing,
Yeah.
which means I cannot plot in the keep.
Yep.
Unless I kill it
Okay.
first.
But that's good. So like we know that you can't place anything if you don't have a warrior there.
Yeah, although on my turn, I spawn warriors in all clearings of a suit. So like I play orange card, I spawn
Oh.
warriors in all mouses. So I just
So-
pop up everywhere on the map.
So you could be anywhere. Okay.
The one thing you do know is I plot at the end of my turn, and I flip the plots at the start of my turn. So you always have at least a turn before my plot gets flipped.
Cool. How do you?
Let's see. I will keep
Is there
with
any
the
restrictions on you flipping the plot?
standard. I must have a warrior in the clearing with the plot to flip it.
Okay.
Other than that, no. Also, I don't have to flip it. I may choose to flip it, but generally speaking, you really don't want to flip it. I'm going to spawn in. This is a hidden zone. Only I can see what's inside of this. And all my plots will live in this zone when they're not on the board.
Cool.
So none of you should be able to see inside my zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And now I have to remember what the Corvid's actual... I only know their advanced setup, which is much more generous for the Corvids. Even gives me a starting plot.
Mm-hmm.
What is their standard setup? Place one warrior in any clearing of each suit. 3 warriors in total. So I get to place 3 guys on the board anywhere. Let's see. Are there any nice clusters of stuff? The
Yeah,
one thing is I
my
cannot
base.
place a guy in the keep because that's the rule.
Yep.
I can't place things in the keep. But I can place some nice guys over here. What just happened? Did you undo?
Me?
I'm seeing
No,
everything loading.
I just made a second copy of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
And that freezes everything.
Okay, so that's my setup. I have my 3 cards. Great. I'm going to delete the bot rules because we're not using bots. The bots are okay. Also, you can delete your advanced setup card. You're not going to need it. We're not playing advanced setup. If you want, you can delete your dice. They're not going to be necessary.
I like the automated dice roll thing. That's pretty cool.
Yes. Baron, have you selected your leader?
Yes.
Great.
Despot.
Despot's a good start.
Yep.
Generally speaking, with the Eerie, Despot and Charismatic are the two stronger leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Commanders is this next best. Is really better if you use it later game.
Yep.
If you use Turmoil.
Exactly.
And Builder just kind of sucks.
Yep, because the problem with the builder is, even if you try to be like, oh, I'll just have them be my first leader, well, there's no guarantee you'll get a second if you never turmoil.
The problem with
You have to
Builder is
strategically
just
turmoil to make
it
the
has
most use out of
recruit.
them.
Recruit's a good bird card to have. Move kind of sucks.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
'Cause Move's the one that's the
Irie.
safest to put on birds.
I debated Irie leader. They'll probably be my
The
backup,
Irie leader.
honestly.
You mean
Or
Charismatic?
charismatic, yeah.
Charismatic is generally one of the strongest just because you get so many recruits, but it's also the hardest setup because if cats aren't on the board, you can't guarantee that battle.
Yeah, exactly. And whereas I figure if I do the battle now, it's like, oh, I'll just be beating up on poor Mock this entire game. That's mean.
Yeah. Commander is in theory, it's a good ability, but the problem is Commander doesn't start with recruiting, which means you don't always have enough warriors to repeatedly battle.
Yep, unless you can somehow get a recruit on the very first turn.
Yeah, because the hard part with recruits is you put stuff in the recruit column, and if you put non-birds in the recruit, it means now you're at risk because if somebody removes all your roofs of that color, you
Yep.
can't recruit.
And for instance, I would need to put a red card or a blue card in the recruit to start with right now, guaranteed, and that is not an option because I don't have such cards.
Let's see, any other special ability I need to mention? Eerie, yeah, Eerie have a disdain for trade, which means if you craft stuff, you score fewer points.
Unless it's only worth 1 point, in which case you score the same number of points.
Yeah, there's a lot of boots and bags are both 1 point items, so there's a lot of 1 point stuff you can still nab.
Yep.
I'll also point out cats have a special ability called Field Hospital. Do you know about that, Mock?
Yep.
Yeah, basically, you want to use Field Hospital basically for any. In general, Field Hospital is a very good strategy. Just use it constantly, except for maybe a bird card, because you want to hold on to those. Because there's any warriors you can keep on the board are gonna really help. I think that's about everything I'd say for opening strategy. So, with all of our cards, we can get started.
Yay! Stream has been live for 1 hour and 40 minutes. Doing great.
Alright, so cats, the first thing you will do is you will get your wood.
That's
You get your wood in the morning. Do not interpret that wrongly.
too late.
Oh, one last thing we want. I want the vacuum cleaner. Vacuum cleaner makes life easy.
Does that just suck up pieces in the area?
If you press number pad 0 on it when hovering over a piece, it will automatically return that piece to where it belongs.
That's pretty cool.
So you can use it, for example, when you use your wood to build something to make your wood go away.
What do you have to press for that?
Number pad 0.
Damn it.
Nice. Okay, cool.
So, cats. Basically how you're going to work is each turn, first off you can craft using your workshops if you have it.
Yes.
At this point in
I'm
time
going
you have a
to
single
craft.
bunny crafter.
Yes.
So you're crafting a boot. Very good choice. Everybody loves boots.
So I get a point.
And you also,
boot.
you get the boot. Here's your boot.
Yes, which doesn't really do anything.
There's a couple of items you can craft, which will let you flip over that boot for a special effect.
Then
Otherwise,
discard.
just discard the
Does
boot.
this go here or does?
It gets
elsewhere?
discarded.
Where's the discard?
Over by
Oh,
the deck.
discard's over there.
You can also just right-click on the card and click discard.
Cool.
Yeah, anything with that
Alright.
yellow background you discard when you craft.
Yes, that makes sense. Okay. Take 3 actions.
Yeah, so basic actions. Most people have a battle action and some sort of move action. Cat's move is special because it lets you take 2 moves. So you can move, they don't have to be the same clearing, just anywhere on the board take a move, and anywhere on the board take another move.
Yes.
Recruit, if you plan to build a recruiter, definitely do build a recruiter and then recruit because you get more warriors.
Okay, I have a question. Ruins. What are those?
They just block off building slots. If we were playing with the Vagabond or the Hundreds, they have additional rules. But with this
Okay,
faction
but-
mechs, they just block off the
Oh,
slots.
not the...
Is there any way to remove them, or they just can't? be
There is
removed?
not. The Vagabond and the Hundreds can both remove them.
I see. Okay.
So there's no special rules for them with the Badgers or the
With our
moles?
faction mix, they just block off the slots.
I figured the badgers or the moles would have special rules, all things considered.
No,
Okay.
basically ruins just hide items, and the two factions that care about items are the ones that take them.
I would like to recruit. Here.
Okay.
Well, I mean recruit everywhere, but that's just the one spot, and then I want to battle.
So you're battling my
On
one
that
crow?
spot. Yep.
So before we roll the dice, it's always customary to ask, would you like to ambush? And I will choose, I will not ambush.
I will not ambush either. Is there an
Well, I
order
mean,
that we have to say that?
You cannot ambush.
Yeah,
That's the
attackers can't
order.
ambush.
You can cancel an ambush,
defenders.
but you're not allowed to
Only-
ambush.
Okay, only
Yes.
defenders. Okay, cool. So we fight.
Yep, so you roll the dice.
There is now a kitty live on stream. Life is good.
Okay, so
Fair-
you will
very
deal
important.
2 hits to me, and I will deal 1 hit back.
Okay.
So, my guy is dead. I can hoover him away.
You heard me
My
talking
guys
about you,
is
didn't
also
you?
dead.
You have the option if you want to field hospital that cat instead of him dying. So you spend
I'm
an
not
orange
going-
card to send him to your
Yeah.
keep.
I'm not gonna do that.
Okay. And then build, I should mention, because build's a little weird. In order to build, you have to spend wood, and your wood must be connected through a series of clearings you roll.
Yeah, it's the worst.
So at this point, you basically, the spots you wouldn't be able to build would be, I'm blocking off some of your stuff over here. So let's imagine you didn't roll this clearing here. There's no way you could build in this clearing because you don't roll clearings connected to your wood.
Yep.
You also have to rule the clearing you want to build in, so you cannot build in either of these 2 clearings so you don't rule.
And throughout all the I can spend any wood within territory that I rule.
So it has to be either in a spot you rule or connected through other clearings you rule. So basically, you can spend wood in any of these clearings right now because they're
Yeah.
all connected through a set of clearings you rule. As the
Cool.
Erie start advancing, though, they're going to start blocking off some of your territory, so you might not be able to build everywhere.
Totally fair. Ooh.
I would strongly advise building.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I'm just trying to figure out
So,
what makes the most sense here.
so 3 types of buildings. Generally speaking, when you want to build, sawmills are a priority gout just because the more sawmills you have, the better builds you can build. As you can see, the costs go up as you build more and more of each type.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Recruiters,
will.
if you were going to build a recruiter, I would have built that before you recruited just because you get more warriors then.
Yeah.
Workshops are kind of weak. If you have something specific you're trying to craft, or if you just have nothing else you can build, that's when you build workshops. Otherwise, I'd avoid them.
Yes, I will build a sawmill.
Alright.
And I score 1 point. Oops. And that is the end of my daylight phase.
Yeah, so if you wanted, you could spend some bird cards to get additional actions here, but it is not required. You can also hold on to your bird cards and deal with them later.
Who's been stacking up my cats? Is that Baron?
I'm not
I
stacking
have
any
done
cats.
nothing for the last half hour while Nightminer's been talking.
That's fair.
So
Honestly,
yes,
that's fair.
I have stacked all the cats and all the corvids.
Okay.
Except
And cats,
corvids,
you have a very
corvids
easy
don't
evening
stack
phase.
very neatly. It's not fun.
And all you do in the evening is you draw 1 card.
And you can't stack the Irie at all. They don't stack. It sucks.
Let's see, yeah, you did a... Yeah, okay, so you should have 3 cards now.
Yeah, you just can't stack the Ivory. It's no fun.
Actually, while we're... So, Mock, draw your card, then it'll be Baron's turn.
Oh, yeah. Wait, okay. I thought we did... Okay, so I go through my whole turn, including evening, and then
Yep.
somebody else
Yep.
goes? Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Correct.
I didn't realize that that's how that worked. Okay.
Yeah, the day names are a little weird because it's not all simultaneously going in day. They're just funny names for each phase.
Cool.
Let's see.
So I drew, so whoever's next.
Me.
Alright, I just enabled turns because it makes things a little bit easier. So you want to pass your turn to... There we go.
Yay.
Does seem...
So,
easier.
Baron, do you understand how Eerie work generally?
Yep, I've watched enough of them.
Oh, you've actually watched root videos?
No, I watched when I played with you.
I guess that counts too.
Yep.
I watched a very deceptive root video, which didn't tell me at all how to play the game.
Actually, the way I learned was I played the tutorial in the digital edition. That was pretty good.
Yeah, but then I have to buy the digital edition, which you told me not to do.
I mean, yeah, the digital edition is good. It's good edition. Although it's also
Alright.
not necessary because you can just play on Tabletop Simulator if you already have it. And honestly, the Tabletop Simulator version is more fun.
I need
So,
to
Mark,
add
just to explain
someone
what
to a
Baron's doing,
decree.
he will be adding 2 either 1 or 2 cards to his decree. He may only have up to 1 bird card to the decree.
Yes.
And then on Baron's turn, he must do, for every card in each column of decree, he must perform that action in a matching clearing. So at this point in time, he's going to have to move in any clearing because it's blue. He's going to have to build in any clearing because that's blue.
And I have
He's
to
gonna
battle
place-
either attacking into or out of a yellow clearing, if I recall correctly.
Battle only works in the clearing, so you have with pieces in. You already flip over that card. I just see the back of it.
Ah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, because it's my card, so you can't see it. It is a yellow card.
Hold on. I think there's a fix for this. There we go. If you can't see a card, just stack it up with another card, and then that refreshes it. So yes, he has put a yellow card in battle, so he must battle in a yellow clearing on this turn and every future turn.
Yep. This is a
if
great
he's not
plan.
able to battle there, he will turmoil, which means he loses points for all the blue cards in his decree, and his leader is deposed. Probably involves some murder.
And the Vulture Dynasty is dead forever. Yep, this is a great plan that cannot possibly go horribly.
He is dead forever unless
you run out of
lose
leaders.
all your leaders.
In which case, you're probably losing. If you turmoil 4 times, you're probably dead.
In competitive play, usually 1 turmoil is enough to cause the Eerie to lose. No one wins with a 2 turmoil strategy.
No.
You can pull off a win after 1 turmoil, especially if it's a planned turmoil.
Yes.
But nobody turmoils twice and wins for the most part.
Yeah, if I had any blue cards, I would use them, because ideally I would want to do a blue card early, but that is not an option.
The other thing you could always do is just wait to battle later.
It is true, but the problem is in that case is the yellow goes under recruit, which I can't recruit at the moment in the yellow space.
Or you put the yellow in move and just spend your whole turn moving.
Yes.
That's also an option.
But ideally, yeah, you're right, that is technically an option. But then I have to move either from or to a yellow space, correct?
Yep. So basically you'd spend your blue move to move into yellow, and then you'd spend your yellow move to move from there, which could also just be moving back.
Yep.
It seems like locking yourself into always having to battle in a yellow is
very rough. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Strategically, battling is the second safest column to put suited cards in after a move.
Yep.
Okay.
Because you can usually find, in this case, the safest spot for you to guarantee a battle would be orange, simply because the keep is in orange, so worst case, you just storm the keep.
Heck, there's 3 oranges in a row, so yeah, very much storm.
Yellow is okay, because you got these 2 yellows next to you, and I'm already in the yellows.
Yep.
Plus, you have the yellow workshop up there.
So I've got 3 places that'll almost always have a... I've got 3 spaces that'll probably have a battle for at least 3 turns. But it's still not guaranteed.
Yeah.
I thought you couldn't enter the keep.
You can't...
Anybody may move into the keep, but we can't place stuff in the keep.
Yeah, we
so
can't
there's
build
a subtle distinction.
Oh, okay.
So placing in the keep basically means, like, we can't recruit in the keep, and I can't place plots in the keep.
That makes sense.
And also, when I spawn warriors, if I spawn in orange, I don't spawn one in there. But, like, moving, we're free to move using either the ferry or from an adjacent clearing into the keep.
I choose not to craft.
Alright.
So I will...
Just 1 to the decree?
Yep.
Okay.
So I will resolve the decree from left column to right column. I will move.
Now, when he moves, he may move any number of warriors. So he may move all 6 if he wanted. He can move just 1. As long as he rules either the source or the destination.
Wait, no, I want this.
I will remind you, Baron, you need to move from yellow is the decree requirement.
Oh, from
not
yellow?
to yellow.
That is weird.
So you should move into yellow first to prevent turmoil.
Yeah, that's easy. That's
Strongly
easy.
recommended. You know what? Since we're not using the ruins, I'm just going to lock them in place.
Yeah, good idea.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Where is the... There it is, 4th ruin. I also lock the keep in place because, generally speaking, no one kills the keep.
Yeah, I tried really hard last time I played, and I could not, even as the otters. I almost pulled it off, but...
Very new players might try to storm the keep on turn 1 while it's lightly defended, and really mess with the cats. More experienced players recognize the wisdom in keeping the cats as a policing force in the game.
And also
because, like,
someone
I
for the
cannot
cats
fight
to
off
bully.
the Eerie by myself.
Yep.
But with the help of the cats, I could probably fight off the Eerie.
Whereas the otters, I wanted to beat up the cats because I was losing anyway, so who cared?
If you're losing and the cats are ahead, that's when you storm the keep. But hopefully by that point, the
I
cats
was
also have
losing
good
and you were
defense.
the cats, and the birds were going to win anyway, and I didn't care. I did not understand how to play otters there well in the first turn, so I didn't bother.
Well, yeah, normally otters are not a newbie-friendly faction, but because of otters, Barrett insisted.
Yes.
The otters are the capitalist society.
They're the mercantilists, technically speaking.
Their goal
They very
is
much
to-
resemble post Black Death merchant union.
Their goal is to sell their services, which include their warriors, their transport over the river, and even the cards from their hand.
Which are required to be public, unlike other factions.
Yes, they are a weird faction.
I
That's
like
pretty
them.
cool.
Yeah, I like them
And
a lot.
and the way you buy them is you give them your warriors,
Yep.
and they hold on to the warriors until they decide to spend them.
Yep, which they can spend for abilities and stuff, and that's how they craft too, is with your warriors. And their warriors, but why would you use yours?
They're
Use
a
somebody
very
else's?
interesting faction, very interesting design, but they also they're very dependent on the other players to get to do all their cool stuff.
And functionally, they usually perform better with more players on the battlefield.
Yep.
They don't perform well in a three-player
Players-
game.
Especially Vagabond never buys from the outers for the most part.
Well,
And
why
there
would
is
they?
like Alliance just has too few warriors to do
Why
it.
would the Vagabond? They don't have. Yeah, they don't have warriors.
Well, Vagabond has a special rule for buying. He has to exhaust items instead of
Yeah.
spending warriors, but even then, it's
Eh.
almost never worth it for him.
Now.
And with Alliance, they just they don't have enough warriors to do it.
Nope.
Even Corvid's like, my 12 warriors, unless I can guarantee I'm getting my warriors back, and I'm not buying.
And as the rules say, you can come to agreements, but they are not binding.
Yep.
Trust no one.
I have a question. So you have your whole card thing where you put
Mhm.
cards out here, and you have to do those actions. When do you change those cards?
When
The
you
cards will be up
turmoil,
for the rest of the game, and I'll add a new card each turn.
when you turmoil, you
Or
change
two.
them.
Yes, if you turn warriors, they will all go away.
Okay, so like for the rest of the game, you have to do
Every
Yes.
single action.
every single one, and that's just gonna keep getting bigger.
Yes, it will keep
every-
getting bigger.
Uh-huh.
and
So you'll get
bigger.
a ton of actions, but you'll have to do all of them.
Correct. Welcome to
That's
shenanigans.
Really cool.
I know.
It-
That's why
it's
birds
so
are so
much fun.
interesting. Birds are
Oh,
very
man.
strong if you can handle them really well, but you could. It's a combination of you need to handle them well, and you can just get completely fucked over if you don't draw any blue cards.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
if you have to do too many colored cards, you're in trouble. But if you turmoil, at least colored cards don't cost you points like blue cards do.
This is also one of the things that's special about advanced setup is advanced setup lets you look at your hand before you choose your faction.
Mhm.
So before you choose the era, you could look at, do I have a couple of bird cards? I have 2 bird cards in my hand. I've got a pretty good chance of Eerie.
Yeah. That's a good, strong early Eerie, whereas I had no blue cards to start, and I was very sad. But I have other cards that are good, so I won't complain too much.
Is there a hand limit on cards in your hand?
At the end of your turn, if you read your faction board, it tells you.
Oh, yeah.
this card down to 5.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
If you haven't...
So technically speaking, there is no hand limit, but you will be forced to discard at the end of your turn. It is
where
the
did we put the
universal-
victory? Oh, there,
Everybody's
there.
board says discard down to 5.
Blue team, 1 BP. And draw 1 card plus 1 for the number of things. So after I place my second roost, for instance, if I have at least 3 out,
Well, that's your
I'll draw
third roost,
2
yes.
cards rather than 1. But I only
Yep.
build 1 per turn, and you almost never want to put cards in the build because
Ah.
you're barely going to be able to have a chance to do so unless you know they're going to destroy it
That
constantly.
varies.
If they're able to get destroyed or you intend to turmoil quickly, I can see it happening, but
So one faction has a piece they place on the board which just removes all buildings in its clearing.
mhm.
Sometimes you just plan on just always building in that clearing and building a ton of roosts.
Yeah, that's entirely valid. But for this setup right now, I don't think I ever want to put anything in build with you two guys
Yeah.
because
My
very
favorite Eerie
rarely.
games are the ones where they end up with 4 cards in build and somehow that's valid. There's so much fun to seeing just unhinged decrees.
All right, I draw 1 card. And then discard down to 5, and then end my turn.
Alright, hello. We are the Corvette Conspiracy. We get to craft. I have no plots on the board. We get to flip. I have no plots on the board. We get to recruit. We are going to recruit in red. So my recruit, I get 4 birds. This is Baron.
What?
I just have this pile of birds is not helping me.
Wasn't supposed to help. It was supposed to be cool. I failed to see the problem. The cats look beautiful. I wish my pieces stacked like the cats do.
And now I just have birds all over the map. Look at those guys. Look how cute they are. Okay, what is our conspiracy? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Okay, so here is our plan. First, we will move. And then we will move. This is off to a great start, isn't it? So I get 3 actions at each turn. And my actions are I can trick, which means I swap 2 of my plots around. I can move and battle, you both know how those work. And I may plot. So when I plot, my first plot, I remove a warrior, and then I place a plot there. If I want to do a second plot on a turn, I have to remove 2 warriors, and my third plot is 3, and my fourth is 4. Practically speaking, I don't think you can place 4 plots in one turn. Now, there are 2 plots of each type. You should know that.
Yep.
And that means once they're flipped and faced up on the board, you have a little bit of information about, well, what sort of plots I might hatch. So, here we're going to do this. And one other special ability the Corvids have is I may choose to not draw cards in evening to take a 4th action, which I will do so to plot in this clearing.
Did you just spend 2 Corvids for that plot?
I had to spend 2 Corvids because it was my second plot placed this turn.
Ah, okay, okay.
Okay,
That's why.
so now I have 2 plots on the board. We are very plotty. And because I exerted, I do not draw a card, or any cards at all. And then I get to discard down to 5 cards, which requires no discarding. And that is my turn. So as a reminder, to both Cats and Eerie, you may, if you want at any point in your turn, you may attempt exposure. So in this case, you will reveal a fox card to me, or bird card, and then try to guess what my plot is. If you're correct, you get a point and the plot's removed. If you're wrong, I get the card. You may do this as many times as you wish. In order to do this, you must have a piece in the clearing with the plot.
Oh man.
What are you doing over there, Baron?
Waiting for my turn. I gotta provide some content for the viewers.
Okay.
Well, I'm not
So,
watching your stream, so...
I got a
Neither is
wood
Mock.
in my 2 sawmills.
And you got your
and
morning wood.
then- Yes, the morning wood. And now we have to do 3 actions.
Hey, what's your
Okay.
stream rated, Baron?
Making the occasional innuendo is fine, but don't make it the entire content.
That sounds fair.
And likewise, you could
Um,
occasionally say something like shit, but don't just, like, go all out. Advertiser friendly, essentially, is what I'm rated.
I see.
For all those
Yeah,
ads I
okay.
totally want to run. Fuck ads.
Ads are terrible.
If I could turn them off, I would.
How many F-bombs do we get per stream?
It's more like how many do you get every, like, say, half an hour or so.
I mean, like, I think it's you get, like, 3 of them in a movie before it has to become an R rating.
Correct, but
Or maybe it was
Something like
2.
with Twitch, it's all
I thought
about
it was 1.
advertising. It's 1
'Cause
usually
in-
for PG-13.
In The Martian, they have exactly 1.
Yep, and the same for a lot of Marvel movies.
Okay, question about the game.
All right.
The Twitch. So in your move thing, you have yellow. Is that moving to yellow or moving from yellow?
He has to
From
move from yellow.
yellow.
So all of
From
his actions
yellow.
must take place
So-
starting in that clearing.
Okay, so he's definitely going to move something into a yellow next turn.
He
Or
could
risk
just move
ruin.
from this existing yellow clearing. He has that option.
That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Oh, I guess sorry. That's what I meant. Maybe I said it the wrong way. But yeah, so he's definitely going to move
Yep.
From there.
from there.
He
although
is
he
free
might,
to
although
just
he
move
might
it
move
into-
into it first.
Yeah. Nothing stops the Eerie from just moving back and forth between 2 of their clearings to meet
I
their
have a
farmers
blue
so
and a
they're
yellow,
free.
so I could just go, like, say, boop, boop. And I can take the moves in any order.
Also, the order he
long
does
as
those
you-
in does not matter.
As
He may
long
do
as
all
you,
move.
as long as you are the owner.
Mm-hmm. Of
He
at
must
least,
rule either one.
yeah, and as the Eerie, I win ties for ruling.
Yep.
So, for instance, I cannot leave over in the back over here because right now there are 2 items. Are there an equal number of red, blue, yellow, and orange cards, or are there more of everything else than blue?
Two of the this is a 54 card deck, so that means two suits have one more card. I can't remember which suits it was, but they're pretty
I'm
close
guessing
equal.
blue's one of them because they have 2 ambush cards versus one of everybody else.
And I think blue and red might be
I
the
was gonna
two
say,
that
that
have
sounds
one
right.
extra.
Because
But
red
don't
seems to
quote
have
me on that.
red has more unique rules than the rest, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't like blues are considerably rarer or something.
No. For the most part, the four suits are pretty even.
That's
So, like,
good.
both Cats and Eerie really like bird cards.
Yep.
You'll be able to find a decent number of them.
Yeah.
Just not every turn.
So yeah, that in that case would be
All bird cards give me is I can use a bird card to recruit any clearing.
yeah.
Like, any suit. So, like, I could say this bird card is yellow, and then I recruit in all yellow clearings.
Yep.
It'll let me recruit everywhere.
Yep. That's why it's wild. Blue is wild whenever you need to choose a suit.
Practically speaking, my faction doesn't actually care about cards that much. We just use a single card in Birdsong for recruit.
Mm-hmm.
However,
I'm,
I do have a lot of freedom in crafting, so I just craft everything.
I'm going to build. Wait, can I?
You
do I
can
have to
build
build
there
in
because you
places
do not
that I
roll.
own? Okay,
You have
I
to
do
roll
have to
clearing,
roll.
yes.
I do have to roll. Okay.
To use the wood, you also must roll a path of clearings from your wood to wherever you're building.
That seems fair.
Which in this case, you have a path because your wood is either here or here, both of them you roll, and you roll these clearings on the way. I'm pressing tab, by the way, if you want to add markers yourself.
Sure. Okay, I'm gonna build that.
Speaking of markers,
I will pay using this wood here. Oh, I don't rule that one.
which one? Oh, you do.
Oh, I do because I have
Because
the
buildings count towards rule.
The buildings count towards rule.
Square
Mhm.
counts towards rule, circle does not.
Okay. Then
So you
I am
will not let you rule.
Also, plots
and
don't
I get
count
a
towards the
point
rule.
for that.
Yep.
And then I'm going to recruit, so I get a cat in the 2 places where I have recruitment centers. I'm not sure what those mean, but
These are just numbers. Helps us talk about
just to
clearings.
help us talk about it. Those would
Yeah.
be nice to be locked as well.
Yeah, I will once you get all placed.
Okay, those 2 actions. Third action, I'm going to
Why
move
can't I lock them?
here, and I'm going to move here. And that is 3 actions. Now I will draw a card, and then I will discard a 5, which will be the end of my turn. Is there a shortcut to draw from a deck? Like
So
press
hover
a
your
button
mouse over the deck and then press a number, and that will draw that many cards.
Okay, cool.
Sometimes it glitches out though and draws additional cards because you held down for too long. So be careful there.
Okay, cool. That's my turn.
And sometimes, if Tabletop Simulator wants to be extra spicy, that will draw cards by other players' hands. Because nobody knows why.
Bugs.
But I guess you don't want to try to guess any of my plots.
Can I do that, or do I have to
Before
be
you
there?
drew cards, you could have. So the one place you could is in 912.
And what happens if I do that?
If you successfully guess, you get a point.
I will guess that this. Can I do it? Like,
So
You need
okay,
to
if you want to guess, so first off, the card you drew, you can't use that, but you may use the
Sure.
card before that one. So place the
oh,
card on the
I have to
table.
spend a card to guess.
Yes.
You must reveal the card to me, and I get the card if you're wrong. So that's the risk. I might get one of your cards.
And it must be a blue or a red card just to gamble.
Yep. You don't have to. If you want to just decide, I may flip
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So okay. Generally, keep it face down so Baron doesn't see it.
Oh, okay.
And what I'll do is I'll Alt Shift over it,
Yeah,
so I can
you'll-
peek
you'll
at the
look.
other side.
But it has to be of the color of the spot that I'm guessing,
Yep.
right?
So
Yeah,
you're guessing
I
in
played,
12.
I played a red. Yeah. I guess Baron doesn't know to know whether it's red or blue, but I'm playing a card here. I'm gonna guess that plot is the one that makes a warrior in each adjacent
So you think it's raid?
Mhm.
raid.
If you look at my board, you can hold Alt on it, and it will show it on your screen. That
Yep.
gives you the name of all the plots and the
Yes,
effects.
I think
So
it's raid.
Great question. Is it a raid? I'm gonna Alt Shift for my own plot. It is not a raid.
Okay, so you get the card.
I get this lovely card that is a useless card.
Yep.
I mean, I get to recruit with it, so it's not entirely useless.
Whereas I typically don't want to necessarily use that ability because I need cards for decrees.
I mean, Eerie, if you don't need the card, then it's not a bad thing.
True, but right now my deck isn't looking too great for my degrees.
Well, we'll find out. I mean,
Indeed.
yeah, you kind of do want your red cards. So, okay, you're done with your turn, Mock?
Yes.
All right. Because Baron, as one little trick you can do with the Eerie. So you know how your faction board says if your hand is empty, draw
I
one
forgot to
card?
press
Yep.
the button.
So you can, on your first step, if your hand is empty, draw one card, and then use that card to guess my plot, thus losing the card, thus making you not have to add to your decree.
That
It's
is
a funny little exploit that everybody's like, wait, you could do that?
Mm-hmm. But you
So
have
if
to
you ever
guess
just
wrong.
really, yes, you have to guess wrong. So if you ever just really don't want to build up your decree, that's the way you do it. Is you just get rid of all your cards.
Okay. So I'm not doing that this turn.
You are not guessing my plot. How sad.
Mm-hmm.
You can always battle the
is,
plot
what
too.
do I want to do?
Although, actually, you cannot battle the plot because you have no cards in battle.
Well, that's what I'm debating is if I had one in battle. There's enough cats on the board. I can theoretically always battle. The catch is making sure that it's in a color I can battle in.
I can always just choose to leave that color if I wish.
You can. And theoretically, so can Mock. That is the catch.
Oh, actually, I should double check. Mock, what did you do on your turn, by the way? I know you built something.
Moved a bunch of
Yes.
pieces to the yellow clearing to number 6.
I see.
I built a recruitment center, I recruited, and then I moved a bunch of pieces to the yellow square.
Ah, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting strat.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so I'm going to do something very dumb and put a yellow in battle. And
I see what you're
Really,
thinking. Baron.
really committing to that. We're gonna have to be fighting a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I am. I told you it's dumb, but it's okay.
I mean,
It's
I
half
like
the
this
fun.
dumb plan.
Oh, I know you do.
Especially because you don't have anything in recruit yet, which means you are extra.
Mm-hmm.
Any battles you do mean you're losing warriors.
Yep, and the question
Yeah.
is,
I think that you're kind of locking yourself into playing recruit next turn.
oh, I can put a second
I
card
mean-
down. The question is, do I want to?
Oh, that's fair. You could put.
The big risk right now is he has 2 roots of different colors, and one of us could just go in there and kill whatever roost that matches the card he puts in recruit.
Yep, because I
How
don't
do
have
you
a
re-
blue.
How do you recruit? Like, do you have to recruit to your nests? Or
Yeah,
your
he has to
roosts?
recruit to his roosts,
Okay.
and it has to match a card into the decree. So
And I
for
have
example,
not
he puts a
gotten-
root card into the decree.
I have not
he
gotten
must
any
recruit in
blue
red.
cards.
So if he doesn't have a roost, he can't recruit.
So if he has 0 roost on the board, he gets a free roost. But if he doesn't have a roost matching the card into the decree, he cannot
Okay.
recruit and he turmoils. And a recruit turmoil is the worst because it means you lose your whole turn, basically.
Especially because
Yeah.
recruit's always first, so you need to control it at the end. You need to control it at the beginning of your turn, which means being in a stronger position to control it later. And I had the absolute worst hand because I had 1 card of each color.
Hey, at least you have a red, right?
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
The
'cause
one
I-
option you always have is you could always go for recruit in one of those 2 colors and then just fortify it.
Mhm.
Is that a good idea? Well, cats have a hard time battling because they actually are so scarce.
Mhm.
And me getting an army to take out your army would take
Oh,
a
for
little
sure,
bit of
for sure.
effort.
I definitely will be the most
However-
aggressive player of the 3.
I could place plots in your roosts.
It's true.
And some plots are very fun.
Yeah, but I'm not terribly worried about that. I can just leave.
Oh, you're gonna love what I'm doing.
You say that.
I mean, I'm gonna love it. You might not love it.
I'm not worried. I'm more worried about self-destructing than I am about anything you're doing.
So, okay, I should also just say something I will not do. That is something very evil that the Corvus could do to Eerie. While you're thinking, it's called a snare lock. Eerie have just a single roost, and the Corvid place a snare on that roost. You infinitely turmoil. There is no way around it because you cannot move from that, and you may not recruit into it.
Mhm.
That is the evilest thing that the Corvus can do to the Eerie.
Yep.
Practically, though, as long as you have at least 2 roosts, it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
And I am not mean enough to snare lock someone in their first game. Or at least their first game as Eerie.
Yep. Yeah, I'm still debating my decree is, do I add a second card, and if so, what and where?
Add to move. can never have too much move.
I don't feel like I need the move right now.
You need more move.
I feel like the card I could put into a move is more useful than putting it into move. But, eh. Fine.
I feel like a move is a really easy one just to have cards in because
The real
a lot
catch
of times you'll
is-
be able to do the move.
Yeah, because is there a cap how many cards you can have in an
No,
anyone?
you may put the entire 54 card deck in your decree if the game somehow lasts that
And you
many
get all the
turns.
cards, yeah. And they're no longer drawable, yes.
The Eerie, the Lizard Cult, and the Badgers all have mechanics that hold cards out of the discard pile. If all three of them are in a game together, you can actually empty out the deck and no one draws cards.
I'm going
I
to
do-
gamble that I
so,
actually get
do
a
you
blue card next turn for recruit.
Do you have to do these in the order?
Yes.
No, the order does not matter.
Oh, you have to
So
do
he
the...
may choose.
I have to go
They
recruit,
get
move,
different.
battle, build, though. That is correct.
Yeah.
So you have to do all the recruits, all the moves, all the battles, all the builds, but you can
Yes.
do them in any order for each
Yes.
column.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, move. He may do his orange move first, and then his blue move, then his yellow move. That's perfectly
good.
legal.
Yep.
Okay.
Boom. Boom.
Oh man.
I think I see what you're doing, and I'm not
It's a
sure.
big commitment.
And then for my yellow move, boom. And I choose to attack space number 7.
Sounds good.
So, okay, you did an orange move, you did a yellow move, and you did a blue move. Okay.
Yep. I roll my die, and buildings can't really do anything, can they?
Actually, did you just wait? I should ask Baron. You emptied out both of your roosts. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
I see
That's
no
what you want to do.
I see no problems with this plan.
I see problems with this plan.
I see no problems
You
with
know?
this plan. Roll dice in battle and kill the thing.
Wait. First off,
Kill.
before you do this, you must ask: does he want to ambush?
Do you want to ambush me?
Wait, can I ambush when I have?
You can
build
ambush
units?
without a warrior.
I will ambush.
Okay, I'm dead. That's okay, I have a backup plan.
I mean, so I'll also point out, Eerie initiated the battle. That is all the decree requires.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he has met the terms of his decree.
And now I build in this space.
And I'm thinking, can I get all these points that you just left for me on the board everywhere?
Yes.
Because there's a lot of clearings I could just get free points in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I can get them on one
And
turn.
I can now draw 2 cards. Can I please get a blue card for the love of God? We'll find out next turn.
Alright. Have you drawn your cards?
I have drawn my cards.
Yay.
Alright, your turn, Purple.
The question is basically, who do I want to punish more?
Probably me.
Did you get your points?
Oh yeah, no, I
You
didn't
should have
get
at
my
least
points.
1 point.
I have 2 points.
Ooh, so you're all the way up to 3 points.
I know, I'm
Nice
10% of the way
score.
there.
Although
alright.
now you get to see something about Corvid scoring.
Yep.
Alright, first I will craft using plots. I am going to craft Anvil. Little trivia, this is the only card that lets you craft Hammer. There's only one in the whole deck, so if you're holding on to this card, you can guarantee no one else is crafting Hammer.
Putting it into a decree is great.
Yep. If you really don't want the Vagabond to get Hammer, because Hammer is great for Vagabond, you put it into the decree and the Vagabond hates you. Who locked my point marker?
You might have. I
You're
didn't.
not allowed.
I didn't. So you
That's
possibly did.
Alright, and now I will flip. So when I flip, I score 1 point for the flip plot, plus 1 point for each already flipped plot.
Okay.
So this one's worth 1 point, and this one gives me 2 more points. So in total, I just scored 1, 2. I already up to 5 points on my second turn.
Nice.
And we'll get at least 2 more points on this turn by removing some of your cardboard, assuming things go well.
Mhm. Okay, so what's the one on my plot again?
So, this one over here, this is a raid.
Yep.
Which, by flipping it, nothing happens. However, if somebody kills this raid,
Yeah, then yeah.
it spawns a Corvid in the 3 adjacent clearings.
Beautiful.
This one is a snare. This cat is not allowed to leave the clearing.
Yay!
And anybody else who moves in will suffer the same fate until that plot's removed.
Which is done by battle.
Also, none of you may place pieces of that clearing, which means if, say, there was a recruiter here, you couldn't recruit there.
Yep.
Or like a roost, you couldn't recruit in the roost. Alright, so I think we're gonna go there. See, the problem is the colors of the clearings you gave me don't match up. It's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy do I want to be?
Crazy.
1, 2... So we need...
1 second, I'll be
I
right
think I
back.
want to do 1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up?
So we'll do a recruit there, then we will battle. That's our 1. Okay, we are going absolute crazy. I should wait for Baron to come back because absolute crazy is funnier to watch. This whole game is just off to an interesting start. We are not competitive strategies.
Not that I expected to be.
I mean, yeah, I didn't expect Baron to go this unhinged early on.
Did you expect me to go with this unhinged to like just throw all of my stuff at Baron?
I mean, I don't know.
I was just looking at like other things I could do, and it's like I'm not. I feel like
generally-
I just need to like move. I feel like I need to consolidate
mice.
cats. I have like one cat
Those are way
everywhere,
worse than ants.
which is
Yeah,
good.
generally
But
speaking, cats
Oh,
want
true,
to consolidate in the territory they already rule. Like, so you lock out a lot of building slots and then just build in them.
yeah,
So have you done
I guess
anything
that's
yet?
fair because I have abilities that do for every building. So what I really want to do is have like a whole lot of space with a whole lot of buildings.
I will
Baron,
point
you ready
out.
to see my unhinged turn?
Yep.
Alright, what are you about to point out?
I was gonna say, they mentioned earlier not a good reason to build the one building for crafting. Technically, they're decent for easy, cheap points if you have a lot more in the other two already.
Yeah, generally, you keep your workshops until late game and then just use them to spam a bunch of points from wood.
Mm-hmm.
So, time for my unhinged turn. I will spend this bird ambush card to recruit in yellow.
Okay. Where? What? Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. In that one, yeah. Oh,
So I
I
got
see.
birds
This
all over the map. Alright, here's time to go. I will move into this clearing. I'm gonna battle in 7. Are you gonna ambush me?
No.
Alright, that's action 2. I get a point for that. I'm gonna battle in 11. I'm going to attack this roost. Are you gonna ambush me?
Nope.
I would roll for this battle, but when you're attacking a building and it has no warriors,
So when
it's
there's
just
when,
so you get a
when the
bonus
three
hit.
of us are all together, do you have to declare attack on one of the players?
Yeah,
On
you
one
only
of the players,
attack
yeah.
one of them.
Yep.
See, I
I'm
like-
out of this battle.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
you
you-
don't
I'm
count.
not involved.
I'll point out, normally you roll for battles, but when it's just one token you're attacking, you get your bonus hit against it, so no matter what I roll, I'm gonna kill this, basically.
Yep.
So I could roll if I wanted for the heck of it, but... Also, I'm gonna battle in 1. Do you ambush?
Yes.
Oh,
You are dead.
joke's on you. By you ambushing, my plot is removed.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I get a bunch of warriors.
No.
Wait, that's how that works? Why does... Oh, because
Yes.
it destroys the plot automatically?
Plot's removed. Yes. So
That's-
do you still want to ambush?
Oh, yeah.
Okie dokie.
That's fine.
So I get 3 more warriors. That was actually the best scenario. Alright, I should be at 7 points for everything I removed. Your roast is alive and undefended.
Mm-hmm.
And double check, I did 1 move and then 3 battles. That included my exert action.
Yep.
Welcome to this game.
Good job. Now it's Cat's turn.
And yes, I just scored 7 points in 1 turn.
Yeah, that's normal. It's early game. We're fine.
Oh, by the way, this cat is yours. I don't know where he came from. And maybe he was in 2. 2 feel like he's had a cat.
Maybe.
Let's see, do I have anything else to do? I did not draw because I exert again, so I am down to 1 card.
Yep. And I ain't giving you none.
Oh, by the way, Bernie, you never passed your turn to me. So if you want to pass so I can pass, there we go.
Alright. So
I feel like
get
you
some
should have a
wood.
cat in 2. Did you move that guy, or...?
I did move that.
Okay.
Yeah, they all moved into 6.
That was a very interesting strategy then.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in 6, but I am not involved.
Yes, you are. You have
I
a
feel like
warrior
there's
right
only one
there.
thing to do. I will get involved. We will place a bomb in there. That would be a lot of fun.
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be a lot of fun.
But there's the catch.
If you stasis there, I don't want to give you ideas, but that would be very strong.
Well, there's a catch is he has to survive, and there's 9 of us there.
That's
Do you
true.
think that I care that there's 9 of you? We Corvids pop up anywhere.
Okay. What am I doing? I get to craft. Is there anything I want to craft?
Well, you still have only yellow. A single yellow.
No, I will not craft.
There are a lot of
Okay.
cards with the wild crafting symbol, which just you can craft with any suit. And there's a couple with yellow, like boots.
I suppose that I should build something.
Usually that's a good idea. If you're not
Good
building
idea.
with cats, something's probably going wrong. Because the other thing is, I mentioned how removing cardboard gets you points, so circles and squares.
Yep.
That includes your wood. So if you don't use your wood by the end of the turn, someone else can kill it to get points.
Yep.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And it stays on the
But,
space you crafted it, even if you leave.
That also matters, like when you actually spend your wood, the wood on 10 is a lot easier for us to attack than the wood in 3, because your keep is generally better defended. So generally
Okay.
you keep the wood in your keep last.
Yeah. I am going to recruit twice. Or sorry, build 2 recruiting things.
So a recruiter currently costs you 2 wood.
Well, the first one cost 1, the second one cost 2.
That's 3 wood in total. That's too much,
Yes.
I think.
No,
I have.
So I did
He
you
has 3.
overwork?
I have.
How do you have
wood.
3? Oh, you only spent 1 wood last turn.
I only spent 1 last turn. Yeah.
I see. So you're spending your 3 wood to build 2 recruiters. Did you build them in 3 and 10 is what I'm seeing?
Yes, 3 and 10.
Alright. So
And
that
then I will
was 2 builds.
Yes. And then I will recruit.
And I'm going to get your points for your builds. So you'll be at
Thank you.
6. Also point out for scoring, there's a little notches above and below the score tracker, so you don't have to stack them.
Oh, cool. That's useful. And then I think that's the end of my turn. So I will draw. Right, because those builds count as 2 build actions,
Yep,
right?
2 build actions.
Cool. So I'll draw. I now have the upgrade for drawing, so I draw 2.
Look at that, everybody getting their draw upgrades. I should get 1.
All right. And that is my turn.
So, what's going on with the decree? You're adding bird.
Well, I'm trying, but it's not. They're being sticky again. There. You stay there. You stay there.
You are finally recruiting.
Yeah, because I finally have a bird. Would have preferred a
you're
bird
going
in
for the
battle.
sixth route.
Realized I would prefer birds in general, but nobody asked me. Alright.
Now, you may add a second card to your decree if you wish.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll just also point out to Mock some funny things about the turmoil. Is you can turmoil in a lot of different ways.
Oh, yeah.
So with recruit, you can turmoil because you can't put a warrior matching that color, but you can also turmoil because you run out of warriors. Because you only have 20 in total.
Alright.
So
I
you both
recruit.
have the problem of recruiting too little and the problem of recruiting too many.
Yeah. Although I feel like if you're at that point, that's like a much better time to turmoil.
It can depend. Like when you play charismatic, charismatic has that double recruit bonus. So
each
with just
time.
2 cards in recruit, you're recruiting 4 warriors a turn.
Which
That means
gets-
within 5 turns, you're out of warriors.
So you need to be
So, like,
losing
you-
warriors in
you
battle.
always want to recruit turmoil.
I've seen
You usually
people.
don't.
I've
If
seen
you're
people purposely
turmoiling
lose
with
battles just to get enough people
maximum-
to recruit.
Yeah, but if you're turmoiling with the maximum amount of warriors on the board, at least you know that you're like relatively safe.
And you can
Presumably
choose,
Assuming
say,
they're good spots.
the option then that is often to go to commander next, because that way you have a ton of warriors. Now it's time to move in battle.
Yeah. The big downside is your whole decree's gone, which could have a lot of bird cards in it. It'd be a really good decree.
Oh, true.
So generally, to play a good charismatic build, if you're planning on not turmoiling, you also put a bunch of cards in battle, so you're actively killing all the warriors you're recruiting.
Another option I could see though is if you have a ton of blue cards, for instance, you play charismatic first, and you just build a ton of warriors and ride a turmoil by like turn 3, and then go straight to one of the other two.
Yeah, that's a strategy sometimes you use. It tends to be less effective than strategies that don't require turmoil,
Oh yeah, of course.
but it can be a good. It can
If you
work.
just want all your pieces on the board as soon as possible, and then just steamroll if possible.
Is yeah, the big problem with a lot of charismatic strategies is you don't always get to build for a couple turns, which means you're not scoring for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So you spend your first couple turns just building up your decree before you finally have a chance to actually score.
Yep.
Which means you're behind everybody else who has really early starts with scoring.
Okay. Move. We'll move. But
I should also remind everybody that when you use
Yellow,
the ferry
orange.
to move, you get to draw a card. So if you really need more cards, try the ferry.
I don't have the ferry.
I didn't know that. That is excellent. I was kind of going with the like, maybe I should keep the ferry to myself for a little bit just to prevent other people from using it. But getting cards from it's pretty good.
Let me actually spawn in.
Is there more than one ferry?
Ignore the other ferry. There's a card in here that just has the ferry rules.
Okay.
I
All
think I
right.
might as well spawn that in.
And then I will be attacking the Corvid Warrior on 6.
Give me a second. I have to decide if I want to ambush. And we will delete the rest of these. Okay, where are you attacking? 6?
Yeah.
But there is no Corvid. You're attacking over here in 6?
You're upside down, remember?
Yeah, I know. You're attacking me in 6
Yes.
instead of all this pile of cats?
Yes.
Well, I will point out, you might no longer rule the clearing then.
Fine.
I mean, yeah, okay. Well, we do not ambush.
I was going to say, you have 1 card. I was gambling on it probably isn't an ambush.
I mean, I already wasted my ambush to
Yeah,
recruit. So.
Exactly. We've gone through 3 ambush cards already.
Yep, we have seen 2 bird ambushes and a fox ambush. I'll point out that this card is common knowledge. You want to right-click on it and search it.
Correct.
So you can
So
always see which
it
ambushes
is
have been
now
played.
safe to attack red spaces with no fear of repercussion. Until we get through the
By the way,
discard pile.
Is there only one ambush? Per
1
color?
ambush in each color plus 2 wild ambushes.
Which have both been used.
Oh wow.
Yep. So all that's left
might
are
have
orange
not
and yellow.
used it if I didn't know that it was
Yep.
kind of rare.
We'll shuffle through the deck again, so they'll come back around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least assuming we get that many cards drawn. Alright,
And then
so my warrior, I assume he is dying.
I'm rolling 2 dice.
You use the battle mat. That's the best way to roll.
Roll.
Wow, I'm going to delete these dice.
3-0.
Yeah, I'm definitely deleting these dice.
You're dead. Have your warrior back.
You can use the number
They
pad.
go
and
in
it'll
the
just
naughty
return
pile.
automatically.
They're in the
I
naughty.
unfortunately cannot field hospital because I am not a cat.
They are in the naughty bucket. You better pray that
Oh,
nothing goes wrong in
Do
the
you
naughty
feel
bucket.
satisfied with your battle?
Mm-hmm. And then
Now,
I
where are you
choose
building?
to build in 7 because that's the only option for building.
All right.
And then as a result of that, I score 2 points. And because of the Irie leader, I score a point because I killed someone in battle. So that's 3 points total.
I don't think that's it. If you remove a building or a token, you
Yep.
removed a warrior.
They aren't tokens?
A warrior's not a token. Tokens
Ah.
are the circles.
Oh, okay. That's lame.
So, like, if you would have removed his recruiter back when you attacked earlier, that would have given you 2 points.
Yep.
That's the building.
Oh, does it
If you
count?
remove my
Hang
fox
on.
in
When you
battle-
attacked me at red, I scored an ambush and removed a token. Did that count?
Let's see. It does not specify as attacker, so yes, you would have scored.
Okay,
You
so
can- you get that
I
point.
technically still got a 3rd point. So on your turn, I scored 1 point.
You scored 2 points on my turn.
I did?
1 for removing the plot, 1 for being despot.
Oh, okay. Then 5, and now I score 2 more for end of my turn. I put it on
Wait,
top
your
of
roost?
yours because I can. And I draw 2
You know,
cards.
I'm probably gonna. Actually, I guess I'm not scoring on my turn. I mean, I could still score. It's unlikely.
Come on, game. Why do you hate me?
All right, you passing now?
Every game I play hates me. Oh, yeah. I don't have a choice. Kitty, I love
Alright.
you. What are you doing?
So I am not crafting. I'm going to place that card on the discard. I'll have something to say about that in a minute.
The
But
dominance
first, I'll
card?
do my turn. So dominance cards have a special rule. I'll talk about it in a second. First, I'm going to do my turn.
Yep. There's a reason I wanted dominance off, but too late. They're in the pile. Can't do anything about it.
Well, dominance have one special rule that might help you for when you're trying to guess my plots. Let's see. What am I doing? 1, 2.
As Vagabond, you may form a coalition. Interesting.
Yeah, coalitions are weird.
Kitty, I love you. What the hell are you doing? Are you salty that I'm
Is it
still
only
alive?
vagabonds that can form a coalition?
Yes.
Okay.
And can your coalition include the other Vagabond?
It can.
That would be amusing.
I could form a coalition himself, making
feel
all
like-
3 of you in a coalition with
Yep.
one guy.
I feel like that defeats a lot of the purpose of why you do a coalition, which is to like keep
Technically
somebody
speaking,
who has a lot of land, because you don't really control anything as the vagabond.
technically speaking, I don't think there's anything that prevents a double vagabond game in a 3-player game from both vagabonds just joining the third player. through
There
coalition.
is. It's called in 4 or more players you may create a coalition. You may not do so if there are less than 4.
Oh, that's rude.
That's
Okay.
why. So yes, that's what prevents it. Is that it's against the rules.
Everybody just joins a one big team and wins together.
That seems like a very sensible rule.
Because it would make the game, like, it just would, yeah, break the game.
1, 2, 3, and then I draw. See, I like the guy in 6. 6 was a very nice position to have a guy. I guess we'll just do.
Why do you think 6 is really good?
I liked him being there.
With like the rest of our group?
Yeah, my little
did-
guy being friends with all your guys. They were great buddies. Great
Yeah.
pals.
You're like the neutral observer. You're like the UN peacekeepers.
I'm just going to say this. I can almost guarantee I'm going to turmoil probably soon.
That's an interesting
Excellent.
theory.
It's a very good theory. My hand
Okay.
hates me.
We are going to move one guy into 10 with action number 1. We are going to plot in 11 with action 2, and then plot in 10 with action 3.
I don't want you to plot in my land.
My only consolation
what
is
are
when
we
I
doing?
turmoil, I'm
11
only going to
11
lose
I'm more
3
okay with.
points.
How do you lose points when you turmoil?
Every
What determines
blue
that?
card in my deck, including the Viziers.
Which
I mean,
one's
my
this?
decree.
Oh, interesting.
So the disadvantage of blues is if you do turmoil, you lose more points.
I see.
Alright. And that is my 3 actions, and I will finally, for the first time this game, draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Yes.
Why?
Because I did not exert.
Yep.
I've exerted every turn so far, except this one.
Excuse me.
All right. Okay, wood. Wood first. I have 2
By the way,
tiles.
this plot in 10 is perfectly harmless. So you
I'm
can just eat
sure.
it and I'll flip it.
I'm absolutely sure that that is.
It is definitely not a bomb. We will not be blowing up your buildings. We are not that mean. And if you don't believe us, feel free to guess the plot,
It's a bomb.
and you can guess it a bomb. You can verify it. It's perfectly safe.
Whereas I can't, because that would require having the space of that color. Or carding that color.
We are 100% trustworthy crows, though. You can
Oh.
count on us.
Definitely trustworthy. Okay, so I am going to craft. I can
Meow.
craft This.
Ooh.
Excuse me,
Which just
someone
gives
is
me a
hungry.
point.
I'll be right back.
So I go up a point.
How many warriors do I have? 6. I keep killing all my warriors to make plots. So you crafted the second boot?
Yes.
So, no more boots may be crafted now. Here's your boot.
Thank you.
You now have a boot for each foot.
I do. Okay.
For one guy at least.
Well, for me, my people don't need, don't need boots. Okay. Bunch of actions. 3 actions.
I would also point out you may guess the plot at any point during your turn. So
Yeah, I
you
was thinking about
guess it,
doing
and then
that.
when you fail battle, that's always a thing you can do. Alternatively, you battle it, and then when you fail battling, you guess.
I feel like
That-
guessing first is more relevant.
It depends if you really wanted that card.
Well, I was thinking like you battle it, like you guess first, and then if you're wrong, you can kind of limit the options of what you think it is and determine whether or not you want to battle.
As one strategy tip, sometimes what you're doing, if you're planning to battle anyways, you guess a raid because the raid is the one thing that gets on battle. It's a negative effect.
Yeah, it's the one
And
thing
then-
that you would want to know for sure.
Yeah.
Because
If you're planning to remove it anyways, then you guess a raid first. I might get a card out of that, but you'll guarantee the plot's removed as not a raid. If you are unsure, like you're not planning to battle it, then typically the safest thing to do is you just guess whichever is the most harmful to you. So like,
Yes.
bad things on 10, if I place a bomb there, you lose a lot of stuff. If I place a snare there, then you can't get wood there.
I'm gonna.
Although speaking of wood, didn't you use all this wood last? Oh, this is new wood.
No, this
Never
is
mind.
new wood. I'm going to guess that this plot is a raid.
So in order to guess, you must reveal. Is this the card you're revealing?
Yes.
All right, let me look at this card. Ooh, very interesting card. So you're guessing this one is a raid?
Yes.
It is in fact a raid.
Yeah.
So you get a point for successfully guessing. Should I went with the bomb?
Well, the raid is the most sensible thing to have there, right? Where I can attack it and potentially win.
Well, I assumed that you were
And it
going
would
to
be
assume it
all
was
over
a
my
bomb.
territory.
I just assumed you were
bomb?
going to assume it was a bomb.
But a bomb I could still potentially deal with. Like,
I mean, you could attack
Either-
it, sure, but
yeah.
Why
'cause
would
I could
you?
I could recruit and then attack it. Well, I
rip-
don't know.
rip my plot. Here, I'm gonna. This bird is sad now. Also, will point out if all you want to do is prevent the plot from flipping, you also don't actually have to kill it in battle. You just have to kill all my warriors next to it. So sometimes that is enough. You get a single hit in battle and you're good. Ideally, you remove the plot too, but you don't have to
Wait.
battle a second time if you manage to remove the warrior.
Say what you're saying? If
So if you manage to remove the warrior, I can't flip the plot.
Oh, you can't flip it, but you could do something on your turn to make sure you have a warrior there to then flip it.
I have to flip it before I do
Oh,
any
you have to
other
flip
actions.
at the end of the turn.
I flip at the
beginning
start of my turn. Yep.
Yeah, the beginning of your turn. Yeah. Okay.
So practically, in most cases, if you're battling, you're trying to remove the plot anyways. But if you remove my warrior and not the plot, you
It's
can leave
fine.
it alone knowing I can't flip it at least.
Yeah. At least you have one more turn.
Yeah.
I have one more turn before.
Did Mock take his turn, or
So I
were
get
you
a
wait
hit.
for me?
He guessed
I'm
the plot
during my
successfully,
turn. I guessed the plot successfully. It was a raid.
Yep.
which means also he
okay.
got his card back.
Yay! Or didn't lose it anyway. Got to keep it.
Yes, it was a very
And-
nice card.
And
By
Ayla
very
has
nice card, I mean,
Ayla has successfully eaten, so that is good.
It was definitely a card that I wouldn't have been unhappy with losing.
Which is the best kind of card to use for guessing.
Yeah.
Quick
I
note: I
guess I
can't
will
go
make a
too much later. Definitely not later than 11, but ideally a little before that.
What? Okay. I will do the math to figure out what time that is in my time. After your turn.
You're Pacific, right?
Pacific, yeah.
So that would be 9
Okay.
or midnight
Okay.
for Night Miner.
Cool. Is it worth building a building? Do I have anything else I could do? We're tied up there, which means Baron wins.
Mm-hmm.
well, he doesn't
wanna
win. He just
recruit.
rules.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, but yeah, like he rules. So I can't do any. Like I can't move those people or anything.
And quick
could
note: I
fight.
can only build one roost per space, so I can't build a second one even if there's another hole.
Yep.
A fight there might not be the worst idea because I get advantage on the fight, right?
In which one?
Attacker. Well, attacker gets the.
Yeah, you get the higher roll. So
Yeah.
you're guaranteed to, in worst case, you'll lose the same number of warriors as Baron.
Mm-hmm.
But in most cases, you will lose fewer warriors.
Yep.
Assuming no ambush.
Assuming no ambush, which it sounds like is unlikely.
You
at
could
this
play
point.
the yellow
The-
ambush, which is still
Yep.
unknown where it
It's
is.
still unknown. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna
Okay.
attack Baron in 6.
Okay.
You have an ambush.
Yes, yellow ambush.
Okay, cool.
Discard.
I'm surprised. How many? There's 54
There's
cards in
only
the deck.
one ambush left, and it is the orange ambush.
So the
I'm
only space.
surprised that we drew all of the ambushes super early.
Uh-huh. So yeah, the only space that could possibly ambush is orange. Every other space, it is impossible for an ambush.
There's still a wild ambush, right?
Yep. Well, there's no blues
No,
left.
use both wilds.
We use both blues.
Oh, we used both blues. Okay.
Yep.
Well, so we fight. Oh, we tie.
Nice.
Okay.
Nothing happens. Good game. Good game.
All right. I just lose things from the ambush. Okay.
You made me burn my
That's
ambush
funny.
card, but it was a good use of it, I think.
That is really important. I do agree with
There
that.
wasn't a better time to use my ambush card than that, to be honest.
I am going to build and recruit. I will build a sawmill here, which gives me 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I can play Dominion cards now.
Yay.
And that I need to pay with the wood.
I mean, do you want to play dominance?
No, but I can.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the thing I need to mention with dominance cards. So now that this dominance is here, sitting in the discarded dominance cards, at any point during your turn, you may trade in a red card for that dominance card, or a wild card.
And I will recruit, and then I will draw 2 cards, and that will be my turn.
Yay.
Why would you want to do that? Well, practically speaking, you only want to do that if you're going dominance, but occasionally you might do it if, like, say, you're going to guess my plot, and you think you might guess
And
wrongly.
honestly, I'd say
You
red
the
on
dominance
this.
card, so I get the worst card.
I'd say red's the worst dominance on this map. They are not connected at all.
Yeah, red's a rough dominance
Orange, technically
here.
possible
Orange
if you
would
control
actually,
because you control the fairy. Orange would be really easy to defend.
Orange is pretty easy here, just with cats.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, if I got the orange, that wouldn't be the worst idea.
Yeah.
I might actually be able to
Although
do that.
bird dominance tends to be the best, because bird is opposite corners. So that's
Mhm.
either these two, or these two is basically only cats might do. The other two, Eerie could manage to achieve 2 and 4 potentially.
Mhm.
It's rarely the right move.
Yeah. And as I'm guessing, usually one you only take if you're really like it's one that in theory a charismatic could take possibly.
You take it either if you're really far behind, or you get really lucky with your setup
Yep.
and end up with a lot of people to defend those clearings.
Okay.
But the problem with dominance is it basically turns everybody on the table against you to stop you from achieving dominance. Because why would we want to lose?
Yeah, that seems like the problem. Like, a lot of them don't seem like they would be that difficult to do. The problem is that everybody knows it's not that difficult, and they can very easily stop you.
The requirement is you have to rule 3 clearings, and all you have to do to prevent rule is you put a bunch of warriors there.
Exactly.
You don't
And
even
if
have to battle them down.
And if everybody is teaming up against you to stop that, that seems like a pretty easy thing for them to stop you from doing.
There we go. So you've added yellow. There we go.
And yellow.
You really like yellow over there.
That's all I've drawn this entire game except for one blue.
You're saying it's time to remove all your yellow roosts.
Well, that's what the strategy is right now. My strategy revolves around yellow spaces. So, first off, I recruit. I can recruit anywhere that I control, and then I must recruit in a yellow.
Here you do have very flexible recruiting because you can just pop up at any of his roosts.
Mm-hmm.
But he has a limit of one of his guys must be at a yellow roost.
Correct. So I need
His
to always
recruiting is
control.
not off to a great start, but
It's fine.
he's got warriors.
Okay. And then I
You
have
more warriors than
4
we do.
moves.
You do. You just now finally you do.
Yep. I have 4 moves possible.
Hey, you should
Yeah.
join me in 11. It's fun.
2.
Don't you want to roost there?
I have a plan for that. 3. 4.
So what was that? You did your... I saw your yellow, orange, and then yellow and wild.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Wait, I'd have to start in an orange, correct?
Yes, the move had to start in orange.
Oh, I haven't done that. Never mind. Hang on. Undo. 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 Well, that started there. So... Yellow... Orange... Yellow... Blue.
Yay.
There. And then battle, I'm going to kill the purple and 7. I'm not going to
You
ask if
aren't.
you can ambush, because you can't possibly ambush.
How do you know?
Because
Maybe
there
have
is
you
none.
ambush.
So how do I do the fight without my beloved dice?
Click on the fight mat. You get to go fight, 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 fight.
2-1.
Yeah.
We both lose 1. Alright. Beautiful. Good
Wasn't that a
results.
great fight?
Mm-hmm. And then I build in the only space I can, which is over in space number 2. I did not destroy anything this turn, so I get no points for that, sadly. However, I can then get points. I get 3 victory points for victory points. Yeah, I didn't destroy any plots, so I don't get any points for that. And then
Very
I
unfortunate
draw
for you.
2 cards.
How about this? I'll get you some plots on your roosts,
That works.
and that'll help you out.
Alright, and that is the end of my turn.
All right. So, first off, we are not crafting. And now we get to flip. I have a plot to flip over here in 11, and it is extortion. Woo!
How does that work?
We are extorting you, Mock. So, Mock, take your whole hand, make sure they're all flipped face down.
You're not extorting me?
Okay.
You're not on that clearing.
I know.
So the only one that clearing is
I also
cat
forgot
can
that
steal a card from.
I forgot that I
cats.
actually have 2 cards.
So, once all your cards are flipped face down, place them on the table. We'll place them in a nice, neat little pile. And then we can shuffle them up.
Sure.
And I will take the top card. And you get the rest of yours back. So hopefully you remember what I took.
It doesn't really matter because they're all pretty terrible.
And now I got this card. Like, ooh, look at that. I can use it to recruit.
Yep.
Mouse Partisans is nice, but I like my other card better, so...
I haven't even been looking at what my cards do. They're all just potential decree fodder.
Now, here's the unfortunate thing. When I recruit an orange, because of the keep, I only get 3 guys. Because I cannot put guys into the keep clearing. Ah, look at all these guys on the board. So, what's the plan?
Does that plot go away?
Nope. The only plot that goes away when I flip it is a bomb. So for the rest of the game, what this plot does is I get an extra card draw as long as it is face up.
Okay. Cool.
It also tells you guys I am less likely, when I place a new plot, it's less likely to be an extortion.
Mm-hmm.
Because I only have 2 of those.
Just like the
And
snare, same
that
reason.
counts towards your controlling that square, right?
No, because it's a round guy.
Because of
Because
what?
it's a circle. Circles do not count towards rule, only squares.
but
and
Squares
guys.
do. Okay, cool.
And
Oh,
remember,
I see.
if you
So
attack
the
them on
roosts
that...
are like
Oh, sorry.
okay. The roosts are like buildings as well. I see. So
Yep,
it's like only
they
the
count
buildings
towards
ones.
rule.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't place buildings at all. My faction does not use them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Does-
1...
Does Baron count the number of roosts he has, or the number of areas that have a roost?
For his scoring,
Yeah.
same thing.
I
He
count-
cannot put more than one roost
I
in a
count the
location.
highest
Oh,
point
cool.
value that's cleared on my board, technically. So right now, the 3 is open, so I score 3 points.
Yeah. But,
Yeah,
but
once
you
he gets a
can't.
couple more roosts,
Like in,
they do.
in 7, you can't put another roost there. 'cause
Yep,
you can't have
that's
some
true.
roosts. I see. Okay.
What I want to do conflicts with what I want to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an option. I think he should stay there. 1, 2, 3, I could have 2 cards. What about 1, 2, 3? The things I do for everybody's happiness. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's the move. Okay, so I'm going to move into the keep clearing. And then I'm going to jump on the ferry and leave the keep clearing.
Oh man.
And by moving on the ferry, I get to draw 1 card.
Bye, fairy.
You stole my ferry.
My ferry now. Hey, you weren't using the ferry, so I'm using it for you.
I was considering I was actually just thinking about using it the next
That
time.
was 2 actions. My 3rd action, we're all going to come over here into 6. And my 4th action, that's using exert. I will plot. So this guy is dead. And I get to place a plot in this clearing. What do I place in that
So,
clearing?
for guessing plots, can I guess anywhere, or do I have to have like people that
You have to have a piece in that clearing.
Okay.
Alright. I have placed my plot in my clearing. I have exerted. I do not get to draw any cards. So that is my turn. I've only drawn cards once so far.
All right.
And your plots don't count for battle purposes, correct?
So when you attack my guys, if I have a face-down plot, I automatically would deal 1 hit to you, guaranteed. In addition to whatever hits I deal from the dice.
And do I do the same with my buildings, or no?
No, that is
Okay.
a special ability for my plots,
Okay.
and only when they're face down. If you attack a face-up plot, it doesn't do that.
That's fair.
So for example, in 12, you could kill this plot and there would be no consequences.
Yep.
How do you get
those
points?
warriors? Me?
Yeah.
By flipping plots. Speaking of, I should have gotten
Yeah.
2 points for that.
So you want to attack them, in theory, to avoid points by destroying them before they're placed.
So the secret way you defeat Corvids is by being able to count. If you see I have 3 plots on the board and I'm trying to flip a 4th plot, you do not let me.
No, because that's a lot of points. That's 10 points in one
You
turn.
well, I mean, if it's assuming some of them are face up, that's still like 4 points. If I have a lot of plots on the board, you want to remove some of them. Either remove the face up plots, which are the ones I'm about to score, or remove the face down plots, so when I score them, they're worth less.
That makes sense. I'm going to guess that that plot you played is a bomb.
In clearing number 6.
Yep.
Let me look at your card. Did I place a bomb? Good question. I don't know. I did not place a bomb.
Okay.
Hey, this
I don't.
give me my.
I don't know.
That
Oh,
card.
that's yours. Sorry, that's yours. Yes.
So now that we know it's not a bomb, it could be one of 3 other things, all of which are very
Yes.
interesting.
So you could keep giving me more cards to keep guessing.
Mhm.
Until I figure out what it is. Although it's always possible, maybe it's a bomb the second time.
Why so?
Okay, there's no way that would happen.
I was going to say that.
Well,
doesn't
so one ability I do have is Trick, where I can swap 2 plots. But I have to do it on my turn, so...
Yep, so we'd know that
Yeah,
it could... And it would
so-
have... You can't swap it for the same one, I'm assuming.
When I swap, I must actually swap if I'm using the action. I can't just pretend to swap. And I must swap face up with face up or face down with face down.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Face up with face up means I can place a plot in your clearing, say a raid, and then swap it with my snare plot to move a snare into your clearing.
Mm-hmm.
So my
Okay,
snares
I'm-
are mobile. Just, it's kind of difficult.
I'm gonna move
Into 12?
into 12, and I get another move.
Yep.
I will move 2 cats into 9 as well.
That keep is looking mighty undefended there.
I will. Yeah, I will. I definitely want to recruit. The question is, do I want to build or do I want to battle the stasis first? I will battle the stasis. So face-up plots help you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I flip this plot in 6, assuming I
Yeah.
get to flip it, it's currently worth 3 points.
Yep.
If you remove the plot in
Because-
12, it's only worth 2 points.
Yeah,
Yep.
I will attack the plot in 12.
It's the biggest
Okay.
weakness of Corvids is that you know how many points they're going to gain when they flip plots, so you can just destroy
Yep.
them to neutralize
And I will
them.
not ambush.
Cool.
it's impossible to ambush.
So
It's
you can
impossible
roll
because
if
we
you
already
wish.
know what it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can roll if you wish,
sorry.
you don't have to.
No, it is. If you had an ambush in your hand, you could have played it.
We've
You
already
can't-
seen the
you
fox
don't.
ambush.
The
But
fox
we
and
know that
both
you can't
blues.
have it. Cool. So I attack it. I don't need to roll, but I will
You don't have
anyway.
to roll, but yeah, you get a point.
Aha.
Congratulations.
Cool.
And I get to place this plot into my secret plot box.
Okay. Yes. Finally, I'm going to recruit.
That's your third action.
That's my third action.
Ah, your keep is looking much better defended now.
Yes. All right. That is my turn. I will draw 2.
I guess I took one of your cards and you just gave me another one of your cards, so you actually don't have to discard.
Yep.
Aren't I very polite?
And it's great because the card I gave you is totally useless.
We provide a great service of taking your cards, so you don't have to discard them.
That being said, it's useful to you because you need cards to discard to do your
The
stuff.
cards are useful for you because Field Hospital. Any card you don't care about, Field Hospital.
I forgot about Field Hospital. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So basically, every time you lose warriors in battle, you should Field Hospital unless you have a really good reason why you should keep
Although,
that card.
to be fair, that's not happened all that much.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think you've actually
happened-
lost that
I
many
think
warriors in battle.
It's been twice. I could have done it before. In the battle in 10, I could have done it because I lost one, I think. And in 6, I didn't have a yellow, so...
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
So how does
Okay.
crafting work for the Irie again?
So, if you're crafting items, you only score 1 point. Otherwise, nothing special
Like,
happens
what do I
with crafting.
spend to craft?
You don't spend things, it's your roost clearings. So currently
Okay.
you have up to 2 in yellow, 1 in red, and 1 in orange.
Okay, I would like to craft this card. This is
I
an
have no
ability.
idea what that is.
Hang on here, I'll showcase it to you.
Ah, yes, False Orders. False Orders is a great card.
That didn't work. That shuffled. I don't want to put it there. I want to. Whatever.
Here, let me
Yeah, here.
grab
You can
it.
fix that.
So you now have the ability False Orders. False Orders means in Birdsong, which he has just left Birdsong, so he may use this starting next turn.
Yep.
He may discard this card to move half of an enemy's warriors from a clearing, ignoring rule.
Mm-hmm. So it's a
I'll
one-time
point out, it says-
making life difficult.
It says as if you were that player, so if they have any special movement abilities, you may use that. For
Yep.
example, with the Otters, you could move them across rivers.
Yep. And now I can recruit 1 in yellow. And 2 anywhere.
Ah, yes, that is a blue card. You gave up Boat Builders, that's a great card.
And
Boat Builders lets you treat
I had to
rivers
put
as paths,
something
so lets
in-
you walk across the lakes.
I had to put something in the decree. I had no choice.
That's true.
So Boat Builders was sacrificed for the decree.
I like Boat Builders. Imagine us being
Decree.
Corvids, we just walk across the lake. You'd be very intimidated, wouldn't you?
I would think that you'd be flying across the lake, but you know,
No, we use boats.
I guess technically you're building boats.
All right,
What
and
do
now I
I have
have
for
to
plots
move
these
yellow,
days?
orange,
2.
blue, yellow. Yellow, orange.
You remember, you must build.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember. No. Better yet.
Oh, your mass exodus.
Yellow. Blue. Whatever. And
So it's
now.
yellow, orange, yellow, blue.
Yep. And
Okay.
now I attack this space right here. Wait, no.
You cannot,
I can't
because
because that's
that's
orange,
orange.
not yellow. Damn it, I keep forgetting
Do you
that.
want to undo your moves?
No? One of them.
Or do you want to attack in... You can attack in 6.
Yeah, I can attack in 6. I can't attack in 2 because it's not yellow. Damn it, I keep forgetting that. I will
You might
undo...
make some orange in battle, so you could also battle...
Yeah, so
more.
I will move... Rather than moving 1, I will move 3 back.
Okay. And
And
who are you
then-
battling?
Who will I want to battle? I want to battle... do I want to battle purple or orange? That is a
So
good
if you battle
question.
us, we are killing one of your birds guaranteed.
Correct.
And possibly up to 2 more.
Correct.
So you may lose 3 of your guys.
Correct.
If you attack purple, you could kill the plot.
And I get points for killing plots, so strategically it makes
Yes.
more sense for me to do that, even though I potentially lose more. Especially because I'm now recruiting 3 per turn, so a couple of casualties is fine. I'll recruit them back pretty quickly. The bigger
I think
danger
3
is...
casualties is worth it.
Yep. Although I just realized also I no longer rule in yellow, do I? Or 11, do I? Because you have 3 points? Or do I rule because that
Let's
plot
see.
doesn't count?
You would have ruled in orange because we had all those guys there, so it would have been fine.
Yes.
Okay, now you rule on ties.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure if the plot counted is why.
The plot does not. There is a card you can craft which makes your circles count as a rule, but otherwise no.
Okay, that's what I'm making sure, so I can still build there. That's the important thing.
Yep, you can still build.
So even if I lose this battle, don't care. Because I'm running into a real problem. The building, if building isn't the hard part. The hard part is if I build twice more and you guys don't destroy them, I automatically turmoil no matter what.
Although having 5 buildings on the board means you're scoring fast.
Yes, that is correct. But I did the math. I think I need to score 7 points for the last building to win me the game. Which, to be fair, wouldn't be too hard.
I mean, maybe you just need to accelerate the building so you turmoil faster.
Or so I build faster. But nah. Alright, I would like to attack the purple faction.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We have a very scary thing that we will do.
What will you do?
We're going to kill one of your warriors with our upside-down plot.
That's fine.
Very, very scary.
Not worried.
Okay. Oh, we're battling. And you will roll a 0-0.
1-1. We both lose 1 warrior. I lose 2.
No, you lose 2 warriors. Haha. We have defended with honor.
I don't care.
What does he lose to?
So my face-down plot would deal a hit as defense.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yep.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
So I lost enough warriors that I can now recruit 4 times rather than just 3. And I build
Wait.
in 11.
Do my woods also defend?
No, your woods do not defend.
Only plots do.
It is a special ability for my face-down plots.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It seems a little weird that my wood would be able to just kill you.
And
Yes,
that's good.
I mean, yeah.
4.
This
As
is
much as
basically-
that would be amusing.
If you read my faction board and hold down Alt, that's the ability
Yeah.
embedded agents.
That makes sense.
It's sort of like how Baron has that ability
Did I
he keeps
just
using
draw
Lord of
from
the
the
Forests.
discard? I did not mean to draw from the discard.
I mean, if you did, just put it back in the discard.
I'm making sure that they're visible. Because I just pressed the number 2. I didn't even press the click. But it counted. That's better. That's actually cards. I can use those.
Yay. Alright. So your turn's done? Alright, crafting. I will not craft. Unfortunate. Good news though, we get to flip a plot.
Yay!
And it is extortion. You both give me a card.
At random?
Yes, at random. So basically take all your cards, flip them face down, and then stack them on the table. And you can shuffle them up and I'll take one. What's this card over here?
Shuffle.
Or is that one of your smocks?
Okay,
Yeah, that was just
go
me,
for it.
not- How do you?
Alright.
Is there a button to just like put them into a pile?
You shake them up with your mouse.
Ah, okay. That'll.
Thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome. Oh, good. I kept a better card.
There you go.
Thank you for your contribution. Did I get that? Yeah, I did. And unfortunately, my extortion happens after my crafting, so I cannot craft these nice new cards you have given me.
Yep.
I can recruit them, though. So, I can recruit in lots of colors now. Look at this. This is a great time.
You just still only have 3 to 4 actions.
We love extortion. We extort you all.
Yep.
Okay, what are we doing? Want to be there. We want to be there. So I think we want to recruit in yellow. I will spend this lovely yellow card. We get a guy there, a guy there, a guy there, and a guy there. What else are we doing? We need... I wish I had more guys around here. One. One, two, three, four. That could work. Alternatively, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not as good. One, two. Okay. So action 1, I'm going to take these 2 guys from 5, and we're going to move into 11. Action 2, we're going to pick up the 2 guys in 11. No, we'll leave 1 guy in 11. We're going to move into 6. Action 3, we'll take all these guys from 6, move them over into 7. And then finally, we will take this 1 guy in 7
Turn him into a plot.
and turn him into a plot.
And you don't get your draw.
And I do not get my draw.
Which sucks, because now it's a 3-card draw, isn't it?
It is 3-card draw.
And did you get your points for revealing your plot? Did you get those for yourself?
Yeah, that would have been 2, not 2 points.
Don't want you to get your points.
And now I have my plot, and I have my guys on the board. Is that the one I want to do?
And I will let you know, Mock, after... This will probably be the last turn for the night this next round. So we'll each get 1 more turn tonight, and then I'm going to call it.
Makes sense.
Because I have to... I want to leave ideally at 7 a.m. tomorrow, which is in 8 hours.
Okay.
In 15 minutes.
I am...
Yeah, definitely get some sleep.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm satisfied with my plot.
All right.
Cool.
My turn. I will place 1 wood on each sawmill, which is a bunch of wood. I have a lot of wood.
I need to... All that wood on the board just sitting there. We need to eat that.
Yep.
I need to eat it.
No. I need to eat it. I'll go get some bombs on your guys. That'll help. I mean, I do have this nice little group of warriors over here. They can deal with that wood, no problem.
I am going to get a recruiter.
Do buildings count as defenders in battle?
No.
Okay.
Unless you have an ability that says so,
Of
which
course.
I don't think any faction does.
And then that is 3 wood.
Yep. So you may choose to take the wood from any spot that is connected through clearings you roll. Which it looks like you roll most of the half of the map towards you.
Yeah, I got from the more exposed kind of locations. Okay. I would like to move
I also should mention, just in case it affects your turn, you can only use the ferry once per turn.
That is a good thing to note. There, I will draw a card. Alright. And then I will attack. I'm gonna attack... Ooh.
Remember, there is an orange ambush.
Also remember that purple's worth more points than blue is, but it's like 1 point at the end of the day.
We're worth the same amount of points here.
Oh, that's right, because I have
purple's
a
less
roost.
defended.
I have a roost too, that's right.
Yes. It's just a question of who does he think is in a stronger position right now. Baron will be earning 4 points on his turn with that roost. I will be earning potentially 3 points for flipping that plot.
Yeah, well, it's like... You know, like... I think ultimately, like... Night Miner is going to be stronger just because he knows the game better. But Baron does seem like the stronger one in this particular moment. I'm going to try to guess Night Miner's plot in 7.
You don't have any pieces
Oh,
in
I
7.
can't. I don't have a people. I don't have a
You need a piece there.
I forgot. I need a piece
You
there.
only
Okay.
did 1 move, right?
I did 1 move.
So
That's
you
fine.
still have 1 more move. action from your march.
Oh, I do have one more.
So if
move.
you wanted, you can
Thank
move a guy into 7.
I could, and then guess that.
It would just have to be the guy from
Um,
12, yeah. Because you don't
Well, it could
control
be from
6.
12. I guess you can't move from 6 because you don't roll there.
And you don't roll
I
in
don't
7
roll
either,
there.
so...
I could move from 12
That
to
would
7.
leave 12
Nice.
undefended, though, which would be a free point for... Well, Baron could
Yeah.
add battle to his decree there, or I could just recruit guys right in there.
Mhm.
Alternatively,
I will-
I'd be fine with you moving fewer warriors from 12 to 11 if you wanted
I'm
that.
gonna move 1 into 4 just so I own 4.
Okay.
Okay, and then I will do battle in 11 against Baron.
Okay. I do not have the desire to ambush you.
Cool.
Very interesting. How is this? Ooh, that's a very spicy battle. So, you lose 2 guys, who you may field hospital if you wish, because he only has up to 2 warriors, you can only deal up to 2 hits.
Mhm.
And he loses all 3 of his pieces there.
Including the roost.
Great. How many points do I get for killing a roost?
1.
Yep.
Any building you remove, you get 1 point.
That's what I thought. Just checking. I will field hospital.
Good choice. Especially because you don't have a way to craft crossbows right now.
Because it's currently in my decree.
I know, not that. Crossbow, he needs a red crafter, and he has no red crafters. He just discarded it.
Got it.
He could potentially get a red crafter, but crafters are pretty low value.
I draw 2, and now I have to discard.
Hey, I should be extorting you more, because you have too many cards.
Mm-hmm.
I do have too many cards.
But both your extortions are on the table right now. So you
Maybe
can't
we'll
extort at
remove
all.
them. We can,
So if you guess 7, it can't possibly be an extortion.
or can it?
No, because we didn't
Ooh.
enable the 3 for you. Sorry.
Okay, and I discarded a card, and that is the end of my turn.
Where's your
Alright.
discarded card?
I do not have an empty hand, so I only have the 1. I'm going to choose to add it a card to battle.
Ooh,
So I now must battle twice every turn.
there it is.
Yeah, that's my discarded card.
But one of your battles is in blue.
Yep, so my one battle can be wherever I want. Alright, so I have nothing. I have no cards left, so I cannot craft. However, it is Birdsong, so first I will use False Orders. And I can choose. Let's see, it's. You may discard to move half an enemy's warrior from any clearing. So which clearing do I want? And it's rounded up. So, for
So
example,
I'll
any of these.
point out, you don't have to use this immediately. You may save it for later if you wish.
It's true. So I'm debating, is this worth it?
So I'll say some places where it might be useful. If you're trying to take out one of my plots, you can use that to remove some of the defense.
Yeah, because it's rounded
But if you
up.
want to storm the keep, you can send a bunch of the guys out of the keep first.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, if I'm storming the keep, I'm not.
Or like if you really want to take down, say, 10 has a lot of points in it, or 8.
True, but I can't get to
Honestly,
10
eight's
easily.
got a lot of
I was
points
gonna
in
say
there.
8 is the logical target, so I think 8. It's rounded up. It doesn't include the recruiter and sawmill, so I just moved
No,
one
it
warrior.
doesn't. So you
Yep.
just basically move one warrior out, and then you've got a very easy
And it's
battle.
following
spot
their
there
movement
for
rules.
a
Does
lot
that
of
include
points.
that I can march them?
No, it's a
Damn it.
normal move. Marches just
Damn
take
it.
2 moves.
I wanted to make them move all the way to 9. It would have been
So
funny.
you may send him to 12, to 3, or even to 2.
I was debating 2, actually. No, we'll do 3.
And you
Have
get
a
to choose
stronger
what moves?
keep. Yep.
Yep.
I have a
He
stronger
controls
keep.
that move,
But I'm fine having a little bit of a stronger keep.
Mm-hmm.
even though you have a very weak 8.
And now I can
I
recruit
mean, I would
2
prefer
blue,
to have
1
a stronger
yellow.
8, but
Yellow, I
By the way-
control 6.
This plot on 7 is perfectly harmless.
Mm-hmm.
You can trust us. That's the Corvid guarantee. One thing I keep messing around with, I want to eventually figure out, is I want to combine Corvids with Otters into a weird remix of the 2 of them. Because that would just be so much
Alright,
fun.
that's
You get to
3
plot and sell
recruits.
things.
4 move.
It'd be complete chaos, but
So I can do a move from anywhere, which will be moving the red here. And then let's see here. I need to do 2 from yellow and 1 from orange. Yellow. Here's what we'll do. Yellow. Okay, I'm gonna make the red both of these, so I'll just leave that undefended. It's fine.
You just like all your roofs being undefended.
If I turmoil on build, I'm gonna be embarrassed.
Build turmoil is honestly the best turmoil because it means you got through your full turn.
It's true, it's true.
If you have to turmoil somewhere, that's the place to do it.
It's true. But either way, I'll live. I don't want to turmoil this turn, though, which is why I'm doing this. Or recruit, which is the real problem.
Recruit turmoil, you're probably not going to do in this game. Just based on, I mean, unless you lose all your yellow roosts.
Exactly, that's the concern.
From this very scary plot in 7.
Mm-hmm. So the yellows are done. I did 2 to yellow. I did 2 yellow moves individually. 1 to 11. And now I'm going to move all of the 2 into orange.
All right.
And
so that's your
then
moves?
I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack 8 against 8. So my blue attack will be on an 8. Do you wish to ambush on orange? Do you have the orange ambush?
I will not ambush.
Ooh, this will be a spicy battle.
Yep. Click the battle button.
this?
Game freezes. 1.
Wow.
Are you kidding me, game?
Thank you. Thank you for doing this, Baron.
Nice.
That was
I will be over there to collect.
that was the worst possible scenario.
Yes. Well, it could have been worse. 0-0. Would you like to field hospital that cat?
I would.
And especially because I don't have any other attack I can use. My other attack's yellow, so I can't even attack again. So.
Although you do have to use your yellow attack. Would you like to attack
Oh,
cats?
I have to discard.
Would you like to attack?
Yep. It's
Yeah, would
like,
you
who
like
do
to
I feel
attack
like
cats in
attacking?
6? Would you like to attack birds in 7 or birds in 6?
I'm going to attack birds in 6.
All right, we will not ambush.
Well, you can't ambush.
We will not ambush. Ah,
3-2.
that is very unfortunate.
So you lose everything, and I lose everything.
Oh no, because this is a face-up plot.
Oh, never mind. I lose 2.
So you only lose 2. That was quite rude of you. We like that plot there.
That's fine.
It was all very part
And
of
yeah,
our master
I was like,
corporate
I'm not going to be...
conspiracy.
There's no guarantee I can destroy this depending on the dice roll, so that's why I move these here so I can build there.
Did you get your plot points? Or your points for removing my plot?
Yeah, I'll take that. That's 2 points. Because I get 2 points for removing plots, not just 1.
Yep.
And then
Well, you
I
get 2 points for removing plots in battle. If you
Yep.
do exposure to remove the plot, it's only 1 point.
That's fair. And then I get 4 points for end of turn, and I draw 2 cards. Whoops, no. And that's my turn.
Great. So, first
Night
off,
Miners, this will be the last turn, and then we'll have to call it probably for a couple of weeks. Because I don't want to do the same game twice in a row with how many games I have to play.
Alright, we are not crafting. Now we will flip this lovely plot. It is a snare! Yay!
That's good.
That gives me 2 points.
Interesting. I was not expecting that one.
So here's the thing about the snare, Mock. So notice how many points Eerie have.
Yep.
And notice how their decree requires them to recruit in
I'm
yellow.
dead, yeah, I know. I told you I'm
All we
turmoiling.
have to do is remove this roosted 6, and they aren't recruiting.
Yep, that is correct.
That's
Told you
pretty
I'm turmoiling guaranteed.
So the question is, what am I doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
I need to recruit, and I need to get a guy in 8, for obvious reasons.
Because if you don't, then they're going to reinforce next turn.
Yeah, there's just so many points just sitting there saying, come kill us.
Yep. Yeah, I debated going for 12, but I'm like, eh.
Let's see, if I do that...
Because 12 I
that
could have
gives
left completely
me
undefended.
1, 2, 3, 4. That works. It's not what I want to do, though. One, two... Yeah, that seems like the best move, though. Alternatively, all right, how many guys do I have to recruit? 5. Look at that. My colors are not lining up here. I really want to recruit in yellow, but I guess I'm not. Okay, can we do this with red? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. So, Mock, I might have to leave the battling in 6 entirely up to you. Because I'm not seeing a way I can battle in 6, but you can probably take that with your 2 cats.
Or more if he decides to recruit over in 12 first and move them.
That's
or
true.
even 8.
Okay, so we will recruit in red. Red, red, red. Oh, right, that bug. Red, 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 red. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Do we want that guy or that guy? As a show of good faith, we will take this guy out of your recruiter. So that's 2 moves right there, and we will battle an 8. Would like to ambush? I'm battling orange, I should specify.
Yeah, I will not ambush. But
All
thank
right.
you for specifying.
And we do have to roll, because we might score multiple hits here. I guess I didn't need that many warriors. Yeah. Because like 1 defenseless hit and 2 regular hits would have been sufficient there.
Yep.
So, that's 3 points for me. Or did I flip my plot? So, flipping plot, I think I already got points for it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I still have 1 more action if I choose to exert.
But
yes,
having a bunch of cards, because you get 3 cards right. Oh no, 2 cards right now.
Yeah, I'm only at 2 cards now.
I'm actually pretty sure you didn't get your points for flipping them.
Yeah.
In that case, I'll take another 2 points. Okay, so I got those points there. Also point out, if I hadn't removed all those buildings, it is the defender's choice which ones get removed. So you could have chosen to lose your wood first or either building first.
Cool.
It usually doesn't matter, but occasionally that choice is really helpful. Especially like in the keep clearing, you can choose to lose the keep last, which is usually what you want to do. Because once the keep's gone, it's never coming back. Alright, I will exert to plot over here in... I guess I'm plotting in 9. Or do I want to plot in 8? Yeah, I will plot in 9. And I will say this plot is going to be perfectly harmless.
Just like all the rest of them.
Just like all the rest of them. Let me double check. That's the right one. Yeah, that's the right plot. We'll put it over here. And I not draw cards.
Mm-hmm. And so that's the end of your turn, and that's the end of the stream, unfortunately.
Can I real quick do 1 action before?
Only concern is you'll have to remember that you did 1 action last time.
This one won't matter. Well, I guess I want to guess the plot.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
I would like to guess that plot. We have to remember that I did guess the plot, but I'm gonna guess that plot is the one that makes you take cards from me.
An extortion?
Yeah. Oh wait, do you have extortions on the board yet?
I have 1 extortion that could be there.
1. Yes,
Yep.
I'm gonna guess it's extortion.
Alright, let me look at your card. It is not extortion.
Okay, so you get the card.
It doesn't actually matter that we remember that you guessed that, because you can guess again if you wish.
Really? I thought it was once per turn.
Nope, you can guess as many times as you wish.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
I didn't want
Yes,
that
we will
many
use this
note
note
cards.
card to say...
Well, it's that also to say it's Mock's turn.
Yes. So the only case where this really matters is you cannot, if you were to guess the plot, you wouldn't be able to use a start of birdsong action. So for example, there's a couple crafted effects that say at the start of birdsong do blank. Once you've started your birdsong and did guessing, it's no longer a start of birdsong, so it's too late for those actions. You don't have any of those effects though, so it doesn't matter in this case. It is Mock's turn.
Okay, you're already writing it?
Yep, and
Okay.
turn order is Cats, Eerie, Corvid.
And Mock
Just in case we forget.
guessed 9 as extortion.
That doesn't matter.
It matters to me.
Because that way Mock remembers that he guessed extortion already.
Sure.
Because
I'll say
yeah,
turn order is Cats. Let me also put names here just in case. Not that we'll forget probably, but...
and then let me know when you're done with that so I can save state.
Also, everybody take your cards in your hand, flip them upside down, and put them on the table, just because hands are glitchy when you load from save state.
Is somebody writing on the
Yeah, I
card?
am.
No winner is.
Okay, cool.
So that should be everything. No, that's 9. I've been upside down the whole game, so being right side up is throwing me off.
I always forget that saving is under the games menu, not options or menu, which is so weird.
Also, I thank you for your contribution to our life over here. That was a very generous contribution.
I just wanted it to be my
I
contribution
thought
because
for sure.
I was going to get
thought
double
for sure,
points.
because you just want to like take cards from me. That was the one that sold cards.
So sometimes with Corvid, the strategy is you play a useful plot there. Sometimes with Corvid, the strategy is if you play a random plot because you hope nobody was going to guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, sometimes the plot is literally just there because I don't think you'll figure it out, and you don't want either.
All right, you done?
Let me also flip over all my plots in my zone
yeah.
too, just in case. So those are flipped over. Okay, I'm done.
All right, games, save game, root folder. That's not the same as root. And rename this root with Mock and Night Miner. And then I can just load this instance next time, and it'll load exactly as we are, and I can do it with the
Hopefully.
same players or new players.
Yes, and we are in. It's a pretty close game, although it is very, very, very likely that Baron will turmoil, which will set him behind.
Yep, although only by a couple of points. It's still
Well, you
not
lose the
great.
points, and the bigger problem is you lose your whole decree,
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
which is it's not a terrible decree. It's
Don't
not a
you,
good
like-
degree.
Don't you like lose your turn?
Yes.
The big problem is
Well,
you won't
that's
be building
really bad.
anymore, which could be bad.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he won't get to take any action on his turn, which means
Well, I get to take
If-
actions. I can take my bird song and my evening. I just can't, and I can craft if I really wanted to.
yeah, any crafted effects he could do, but he cannot do anything beyond recruiting.
It's
He
also
will
why I
recruit-
probably don't want to
until it
put any
fails.
cards on my decree because I'm going to lose it anyway.
Well, you have to put a card in your decree,
Well,
but you want to put
yes.
a non-bird card ideally.
Well,
And
yeah, of
honestly, I
course.
would just put in recruit, so you can recruit an extra warrior in orange or red.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have if you want to put a yellow card in the decree, then it doesn't really matter where you put it. But if you
No.
want to put a red card or orange card, you can get an extra
Exactly.
recruit then.
But we will figure that out next time.
Yep.
Which I'm
I'm
thinking will
disconnected.
be either in two. It depends. Among Us is definitely popular again, so that'll definitely be happening again. And I kind of want to do something else as well, but there's a lot of options for that. For instance, I got Duck Game, and that's fun. I have Age of Empires 2, where I'm trying to make a modded map that essentially is like a diplomacy game. Just think if there's 8 players and there's no fixed diplomacy. So it's not like it's a team. You can make temporary alliances, but no permanent alliances, essentially. Which I think could be interesting, and then some other ideas. If anyone's interested.
Weird.
Yep. Because almost all Age of Empires is either player versus player, team versus team, or player versus AI. And I'm like, what if there were 8 players, but they can change alliances based on if they want to form a coalition or team up on another player or something like
Yeah,
that?
I have a few friends who play Age of Empires who might also be interested in joining.
Same. Are you interested, Mock, or you have no clue when's the schedule?
Maybe.
I don't know if you want to.
I haven't played Age in a long time.
Yep.
Which one?
I have definitive, which is what most people like play.
For 2?
For 2, yeah.
Okay.
Because I believe you played 3 more, correct?
I played 3 more, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of figured the answer to that question was either going to be 2 or 4.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't sure if
I don't know
the
4
hype
yet.
has died down from 4.
You don't own 4?
I keep debating getting 4, and then I don't. Because I don't even play 2 that much.
Okay.
I don't even play 2 enough. I played the beta of 4. That's part of why I don't have it yet. And I just
You
don't.
already know exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
When were you thinking about doing that? Is it like a day, or is there...
When I finished them. The Age of Empires is when I actually finished the map.
Oh, okay.
Because
So
I want it to not just be like an 8-player Dark Age. I want to actually have setups with a map that kind of resembles a real-life map that I'm thinking of. Because I'm thinking, what if it's really interesting? I try to recreate like part of the HRE or something, and you're all HRE dushies.
That would be cool.
So I make it like a historical map. But that's a lot of work, so it's not any time this month.
For sure, for sure.
But soon. That is something I want to do. So what I'm thinking is next week might just be a random fun game, and then the week after that is Among Us, and then we continue this game. So it might be 3 weeks.
Might be a little bit, yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's cool.
All right. And I think I know who I'm going to raid. Go raid Drew. Oh yeah, schedule for the week. It's the usual. Next week, I'm unavailable Monday, so here we go. Wednesday will be Hades, Thursday Eastward, and I'm going to try for Saturday for a community night. Multiplayer night. I just don't know quite what yet. I'll figure that out later this week. That's all. And go raid Drew. Thank you very much, both of you, for coming out. I very much appreciate it. This is fun. And I think if we do this again, we'll definitely know what we're doing and go faster. And gonna raid Drew. Whoopsies, wrong button. No. Oops, whatever. Thanks everybody for joining. Always a pleasure. See you another time later.